Keep on forgetting I can just like turn down Spotify from my stream deck instead of just having to go into Spotify itself. Kind of handy. And I want to get started here in a second. Move over to console gaming. Make sure my sound is good. Oh yeah, it's good. Okay, we're good. Honestly, this stream will probably not go on for that long because it's like the trial. It doesn't take that long. Pop this back up for later. So I'll open up Spotify again. It's not too quiet. I'm gonna get started. What did it leave off on? Oh, that's right, waiting for Maya to get out of the cavern. She's in the prosecutor's lobby. Just going over today's testimony with the prosecutor as we speak. I was just going to be testifying as a witness for the prosecution. What? Why? She's my defendant. Francisca isn't going to be the prosecutor today. Who do you think it is? She's been out there all night trying to remove those trick locks. But the head nun's assistance naturally. Okay, good thing on you, Francisca Bancama. Estimate the last of the locks should be taken care of in about 3 hours. Hope everything continues to go smoothly and we receive some good news soon. Prosecutor got it, intends to nail this case shut today. Be prepared to fight like there's no tomorrow. Today would be the end of all this. Hey, me too! It was immediately after I made that decision I felt myself getting stronger. It's like when you decide to make a choice to get something done and like make a hard decision, it always feels better. Yeah, your little boy came to visit me in my chambers earlier this morning. All of a sudden, in the blink of an eye, he developed a scorching fever and fainted. Oh my god. I didn't know you two were related. Well, good anyway, that other judge was terrible. Looked a bit pale, not to mention that they couldn't be here. Coincidence? It's impossible to predict what the future has in store for any of us. Thus, why people feel the need to judge the past. We of the court have been charged with the solemn duty of passing such judgment. During yesterday's trial, the accused refused to admit her role in the crime, but today she has had a change of heart. Because the Iris of Azakor Temple has a confession to make. Upon meeting a beautiful lady, ask for her name and profession. That's kind of weird to do, but okay. A simple nun undergoing training at Hazakura Temple. Bullshit. Witness, is there something you want to confess to? Yes. But first, I want to apologize to Mr. Wright. I can't continue lying to everyone anymore. It's alright. What is it? Mr. Wright, I have to admit that I did play a part in this terrible incident. Are you actually confessing? Are you saying that you were the one who murdered Miss Elise Duxnam? No, I'm not, Your Honor. But I dealt with the cover-up after the murder took place. After her spirit left, I took the lifeless shell of Mystic Elise and carried it to the Hazakura Temple courtyard where I desecrated it. That's... shit. I can't disprove that, can I? Are you saying that you were an accomplice to the murder? Yes, that's correct. Wait a minute, I'm already covered in cold sweat. You should get that checked out. Everyone on the planet is accomplice to something. It just happens to be, in this case, it's to murder. Isn't that right, Mr. Wright? His testimony was all a lie. Whose crime were you trying to cover up by your actions? Hazakura Temple is one by one of the branch families of the Korean tradition. One of our missions is to protect the main family. Yes, and that's why I would be dirtying myself, if need be, to protect her. The daughter of... oh, fuck you. The daughter of the master of the Korean channeling technique, Mystic Maya Fey. Maya, who's been accused now the third time of murder? Oh my god. So not only did you witness the murder, you know the name of the murderer. And then I cleaned up the area to try and protect her. Fuck. She needs to stop leaving the house. Whereas that happened on the night of the crime. So, Mary, let me know if you need a catch up, because there's a lot of information that happened between the last time I played this. I went to the inner temple that night and saw it all happen in the garden. So Mystic Elise strike Mystic Maya with her staff. While Mystic Maya was still stumbling, Mystic Elise moved in to deliver a fatal strike. Mystic Maya tried desperately to defend herself and stole the weapon. It's only self-defense, you can't blame her for it. Okay. That would be helpful. I was too busy, I haven't gotten the VOD to that yet. Where do I start? Okay, so Iris, the one on the stand, our defendant, has a twin sister. Wow, who could have guessed? Who is it? Oh, wow, it's her ex-girlfriend, the bitch McGee. Okay, turns out that's not only the biggest thing. Remember Pearls? One of her sweet Pearls, whose mother tried to frame Maya last game and went to prison because of it? Yeah, that bitch? Yeah, she's their mother. Turns out her and her are actually half-siblings of her. And that case before, where that police officer that was supposed to be their sister is actually their stepsister. Where do we go from there? Oh, that's right. Elise Duxnam is actually these two's mom, who disappeared after she after she had that really botched DL6 incident from, you know, the first game. Remember how Mr. Edgeworth over here, his dad died because Men for Karma shot him, and then, you know, she channeled Edgeworth's dad, and he was just like, it was this person, but it wasn't this person, because they got off scot-free. And so she was fucked over because of that, and then they lost a lot of their name. And then she knew that she was Maya's mom, so she was like, okay, cool, you can stay here what you want. What else is there? Oh, Morgan left gave Pearl a letter saying, I need you to do some things for me when you're up there. So the whole entire thing of going up to that place in the first place was Morgan's idea from jail. And she wanted Pearl to channel Dahlia, who's dead now, she was executed, to Dahlia's ghost, to get their revenge on her and her. And that's just, but the only thing you know, other than that, is that the letter that was given to her about that was already open, so somebody saw that information beforehand. He's got a, still has a fucking hate boner for us for reasons. Well, it's because he's like, oh, you didn't protect these two. She's dead, and she may be dead. Gumshoe still being Gumshoe. Larry still being Larry. Franziska von Karma came in to substitute. I think you were there for that. Oh, maybe you weren't there for that. Oh yeah, Franziska von Karma came in to substitute for the prosecution while he was the defense attorney. And that's about it. And now she's blaming Maya for the death. All this happened because Manfred von Kammer shot somebody. If that didn't happen, none of this would have happened. If Manfred von Kammer wasn't an asshole and shot this guy's father, then she wouldn't have been called to be a spirit medium and then was shamed. And then she wouldn't have become a defense attorney. And then she wouldn't have gone a little cray. And then because she went cray, her husband left her and took the two kids, these two, Dolly and Iris, and then dropped Iris off with her, being like, you have this kid. And then she was also involved in that kidnapping plot on the bridge from the past, that flashback case, the one with the convict dude. Yeah. Fuck you, Van Karma. It's all your fault. When at the top of the night, I saw her hopper and gone outside. Mystic Malia started with the staff. Mystic Maya was still stumbling. Who writes this case on the internet? Some really talented people. People who probably saw some soap operas and were like, let's go. Where the horse branch and then yeah, supposed to evidence, but I think it would actually hurt us standing and expose the unnatural sounding parts. Two things that don't add up. Okay, well, we're gonna start already. Can I use this? Can I use the fact that she's the mom? I guess so. At least Duxino would never have attacked Maya Fey. To be sure, because the victim's real name was not Elise Duxinum. Her real name was Misty Fey. Fey? Ah, no. Not Mystic Misty Fey. Oh shit, you didn't know that, Iris. Who is this Misty Fey is she related to? Misty Fey is the master of the Crane Chandler technique. She is also the mother of Maya Fey. And Maya got accused of another murder. Must be a Phoenix, right? Is it really true, Mr. Wright? Was Elise Duxinum actually the great Mystic Misty? There's no doubt about it. I can hardly believe it. The idea that she would try to kill her only daughter, one she hadn't seen in 17 years, perhaps the prosecution can offer some explanation for why she would do such a thing. It's certainly odd. I find it difficult to believe a mother would try and kill her own daughter. Turns out that I'm wrong about this. I'll quit my day job and open up a coffee house. But to believe that domestic violence cases like this never can occur, but eventually they're all too common. True. That's why people drink bitter coffee, you know. That's not true. You've brought a light of new, interesting fact. A very interesting fact, Mr. Wright. But I must agree with the prosecution that domestic violence is not all that rare. The fact that they were mother and daughter doesn't itself disprove the witness's claims. I think it would be best if we return to the testimony at hand. More conclusive than this. Okay. Okay, so save. Particularly attack Mystic Mia with the staff. Mystic Maya was still stumbling with the final strike. Defensive and stole the weapon. So what's Mystic Maya, she turned things around and then she used the weapon she had taken and lunged forward for a strike. Whisper, 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 whisper. Witness, are you absolutely certain? Yes, but I believe she had no choice. If Mystic Maya hadn't done something, Maya Fei's name would have been written on this autopsy report instead. Stole the weapon? That's kind of bullshit. That was weird. There's no hold it there. Threw down her staff and reached into her robe for a weapon. Wait a minute. What was this weapon? It was some kind of dagger. Dagger, huh? And looks like someone tried to stop her with this weapon? To kill Miss Fei? Yes, exactly. You look like I did after I mistakenly took a swig of Worcester sauce. Do you have a problem with the testimony you're hearing from your client, lawyer boy? Yeah, there is one thing. Your Honor, I have a small problem with the witness's testimony. But this client is your own client. Yes, well, nevertheless. Witness, let's add your last statement to the testimony. Okay. All right, got it. Okay, now let's continue. She threw her staff away and pulled a dagger from under her robe. Bullshit, because, oh, you weren't here for that staff that Maya's mom had, the sticks in them, has a hidden blade in it. Why would she need a dagger? So Iris, there's something strange about your version of events, huh? Miss Duxham throwing her staff away makes no sense to me at all. But all you can do with a staff is hit someone. Naturally, you wouldn't know this, Sister Iris, but the victim's staff had a special feature about it. As you can see, it's a sword. One of the coolest things ever is when you have a staff that's also a sword. If Elise Dixon, I'm saying that wrong so many times, really had wanted to kill Maya Fei, she wouldn't have needed to use a separate dagger. Not when she already had a beautiful blade in her hands already. Upon first hearing the witness's testimony, it seemed natural enough. However, in light of some facts that have just been presented, one, that the victim supposedly threw away a sword during a fight, and two, that the two people battling to the death were mother and daughter, despite the facts being believable when taken on their own, when taken together, the entire story seems difficult to believe. I mean, yeah. There's nothing in this world that is impossible except for one little thing. You don't get it, do you? When I joke about the time how many times people say that, and like if you ever watch the whole entire compilation of people going like, you don't get it, do you? You think maybe my beans are under roasted, but you have no idea, Gramps. I heard this witness's confession this morning, just as I had taken the sip of my 8th cup of coffee. Good when you help, my friend. Anyway, after hearing this woman's confession, I had a detective who loves to investigate sent to the scene of the crime. And he discovered this little beauty. What? Your Honor, but do you notice anything else? There appears to be blood on it. I didn't see that when I investigated the crime scene. You investigate the pine tree at the crime scene? The dagger was stuck in the backside of the pine tree. Well, this is bullshit. Well, to be fair, I also present evidence that was not been admissible to court yet. But so, when the last blow was struck, ending the violent battle between the two women, this little baby was thrown into the direction of the back of the pine tree. Which means the blood in the dagger belongs to the victim, correct? You even listen, oh man, first heard this confession this morning. This is when I had first taken the first sip of my 13th cup of morning coffee. Alright. This is my sweetheart. Make sure you treat her right. I think I remember whose blood is on it, and it's not who anyone thinks it is. The testimony we've just heard has numerous unbelievable aspects to it. However, after having found the very dagger the witness spoke of, I believe we can consider her testimony to be credible. Cute girls never lie, ever. You know what? Not gonna comment on that. In any case, witness, if you could please testify again to this court about the instant you saw a battle between two women. All right. Stretch my head. Mystic Maya stumbled briefly after being hit over the head with a staff, but then she dodged Mystic Elise's next attack and stole her weapon. Then Mystic Elise was on the defensive with her back to the stone lantern. That's when Mystic Maya stabbed Mystic Elise. Mystic Elise managed to fling the knife away, but then she collapsed. It had been 17 years since Mystic Bases and Pistons. Since Mystic Misty's, that's hard to say, disappearance. Perhaps they simply didn't recognize each other anymore. Now then, Mr. Wright, proceed with your cross-examination. Okay. The evidence: blood from stab to the back. Yes. But Mystic Maya wasn't herself at the time. Her life was in danger. A cornered fox is more dangerous than a jackal. I believe the correct description of a cornered fox is scared and petrified. The animal analogies have grown tiresome. You started it. That's a stabbed Mystic Elise. I'm gonna go with stab to the back. Yeah. Something about you just isn't right today, Iris. Huh? Until now, I didn't think you were the type to make such a careless mistake. However, the testimony you just gave contains quite a few contradictions. What do you mean? What's so wrong about my testimony? According to you, Maya Fey stabbed the victim while she had her back to the stone lantern, correct? Yes, that's right. But in that case, the victim would have been stabbed in the stomach, right? Yes, I think so. But according to the autopsy report, the cause of the death was due to a blood loss from a stab wound in her back. Ah. This proves that the victim was stabbed from behind, not from the front. Sister Iris, it appears another seed of doubt has sprouted from your testimony. What does it mean, Mr. Wright? It's simple. People are like books. We've all got a front and a back. You get my drift? You trying to say that she turned around? I'll go say that darkness loves to play with the human mind. Don't you fucking do that on me. Could you please knock it off with the cheesy proverbs and illogical metaphors already? The point is, too much of this testimony just doesn't make sense. Throwing away useful staff, the people fighting being mother and daughter. And now she falsely claims the victim was stabbed in the stomach. Well, Iris, how about it? Got it? Are you gonna object? There we go. If you ask me, you're just being too naive about the whole thing. What do you mean? There are 253 distinct types of bitterness in coffee. My sweat. Okay. But to pick out each one requires total concentration in the use of all the senses. Were you really concentrating on what this witness actually said? The witness was quite unambiguous about her own ambiguities when she said that the garden was dark and she couldn't see clearly. Are you fucking kidding me? A human needs one thing to see clearly, and that is light. By the way, did you know Hazuko has a rule that on nights where an acolyte is at the inner temple training, the stone lantern in the garden must be kept lit? If that's true, shouldn't the witness have been able to see the crime more clearly? Normally, yes, Your Honor, but according to the head nun, Sister Bikini, on the night of the crime, it was impossible to light the stone lantern because of the snow? And it had been used in a long time and the wick was no good. Oh, okay. Yeah, he has a nice coffee hobby, but he can't keep talking about it that much. I said hobby instead of hobby. That was very what's I'm looking for? New Englandy of me. In other words, it had to have been nearly pitch black in the garden that night. There could have been a faint light coming from the training hall, but that's all. Yes, that illuminating fact has chased all the contradictions away. The staff was dropped. It would be difficult to see. It also explains why they didn't recognize each other. We can't see the demons that lurk in the night. That's why humans are weak. Isn't that right? Right. Talk. And present the stone lantern evidence. And we kindle the flame of truth in your mind. I hope that coffee is decaf because your heart must be a mess. Yeah, drinking that much coffee. Is the flame too hot? This lantern, there's something written on it. Oh, that's right. Remember before when we talked about we were on the shitty case with the French dude and the imposter, and we had that the apron, and we talked about the fact that like, oh, look at the apron, it's got the stuff on it, and Goddard was like, what the fuck you talking about? And we were like, looks like blood. And he's like, blood? And it's like, oh, it's ketchup. Why, it's written in blood. Written in blood? It says Maya upside down. What the? After being caught and then stabbed by Mystic Maya, Mystic Lisa didn't fall down right away. She must have been writing down the stone lantern behind her with the blood that was draining out of her body. So, stabbed from the back with a knife that didn't look like it went that deep. You're saying she turned around, put her hand on her back, grabbed blood, turned it around to the front, and then put it as a marker upside down onto a stone lantern? What do you mean, what are you talking about? We're talking about the message written in blood. Nonsense. This lantern is as clean as a whistle. Could it be he can't see the bloody handwriting at all? Now that I think of it, he did say something to me yesterday. My eyesight is pretty messed up. Even with these huge goggles on my head, I still can't see everything. Which explains that previous case. He's partially colorblind. In any case, that is obviously an important clue. We now know that the crime scene was dark, and the victim scrawled this message on the stone lantern. Oh boy! It's ironic. The man who can only see red when it comes to us can't really see red. That Miss Tuxon was killed by Maya fight. That you can't just. Now it's time to turn our attention to you. After the victim died, you did something, didn't you? Let's hear it. We're all ears, because we still didn't get how the body got from one side to the other. Oh yeah, I forgot about this. Oh, also from last time you probably missed. Larry drew this over the bridge. Of when he saw the bridge burning, he saw this, and he claims that he saw Iris floating across the gap on the night of the murder. After Mystic Elise died, I called out to Mystic Maya. I thought it was my duty to protect the future master of the Korean tradition. Yeah, huh? So I removed the body from the inner temple by myself. I dragged it behind me all the way across Dusky Bridge. Then I used the snowmobile to carry it back to the Hazakura temple. And I used the Shichijo to alter the way the wound looked. The wound? So you moved the body? Yes. I was raised at Hasakura Temple. I owe a great deal of thanks to the Fate Clan, but even so, I never imagined that the lid system was actually Misty Fae. I've committed a terrible sin. A terrible trick of fate. Yeah, twist of fate we're looking for. I intended to return to the inner temple after taking care of the body, but you were spotted by the head nun. Yep. Alright, let's see if we can go through this. Alright. I called out to Miss Maya, future master. So I moved the body from the inner temple by myself, dragged it behind me all the way across Dusky Bridge. Then I used a snowmobile to carry it back to the Hasakura Temple. I used a sigil to alter the way the wound looked. How did you do that? Yes. So since the bikini mistakenly thought you were the one that murdered Miss Duxenham, I will have to say she's not incorrect in majority of this part of the case. In this testimony, from what I know, she is not incorrect. No, it's not like that. Just on murder with eyes, not surprising that she was a little timid. Sometimes when I'm watching lawyers argue back and forth with each other, I feel so helpless that I just quietly and wait for them to reach a conclusion. Dude, you're the judge. That's it. Okay, whatever. It was until Mr. Maya saw me that it finally dawned on her what she had done. It's your duty to protect the master. So then, you knew the significance of the name Maya Fey. Yes, of course I did. That's odd. I mean, Sister Bikini didn't recognize Maya's name, let alone her position. That's true. How did you know that she was important? She was a very special person indeed. She moved the body from the inner temple by myself. Why did you do that? Because I didn't want Mystic Maya to be suspected in any way. I thought the best thing would be to remove the body from the crime scene. Moved her body all by yourself? Yes, I did. Would have been impossible if it wasn't for the show. Snow. Right away across Dusky Bridge. Amazing that you could make it all the way across. That's a rickety old bridge. Surprisingly sturdy despite its age. She took a dead body across a bridge. This girl? It's like they say, idiots are too stupid to catch even a simple code. There's one other thing that bothers me. Why not just throw the body into the Eagle River? That's true. It would have been much easier than dragging it all the way to Asakura Temple. I would cast too much suspicion on Mystic Maya. So I would try to take the body as far away as possible. For the time being. Anyway, what did you do after you crossed the bridge? Then I used the snowmobile to carry it back to Asakura Temple, and I had the key. I used the snowmobile to travel from Hasakura Temple to Dusky Bridge. About the snowmobile? So we're all the way on foot to the bridge. Now I got a problem with your testimony. Interest you? That night, after the head nun left the remainder of the training to you, she said that she walked from the inner temple back to Hasakura Temple. Let's recall her comments on the subject. Maybe, but when I made it back to Hasakura Temple, it was there by the main gate, the snowmobile, I mean. The snowmobile was in front of the main gate. This is one of those contradictions, wouldn't you say? Why are you pointing out the contradictions in the witness's testimony? Sister McKinney missed it. Maybe she didn't see it. You think she missed it? That's bullshit. But careful, be careful. That's all I want to say. A smart little cookie like you shouldn't have any trouble understanding that. Oh, but come on, got it. All right, so let's go back to this and then do the tracks. This picture was presented at his trial. All those tracks from the ride. I can only see one set of tracks here. We know when the murder happened, right? There's only one set of tracks. If you use tracks to... I would say it's important. When the murder took place, the snow had already stopped. The murder happened between 10 and 11 p.m. The snow was approximately 10 to 10:50. So that means if when the murder happened, snow had stopped. The murder would have happened after 10:50. But lightning struck Duxbury Bridge at 10:45. Which means that if the bridge was struck at 10:45 and the murder happened at 10:50, and she's saying that she went across the bridge, I mean, she would have been gone across a burning bridge, which is impossible. It all will make clear if you allow her statement to be added to the record. Let's get this snow business cleared up, shall we? Yes, sir. Bullshit? Are you kidding me? Oh. What other pictures do I have? I'm not doing that. Okay. That doesn't contradict that. That contradicts that. God damn. It definitely contradicts it. Like, you get like it has to, right? Because oh well, press this. God damn it, was I not supposed to present anything and just keep pressing? If the snow really had stopped at the murder of the crime, I mean there's a bigger hole in the story than the movie The Grid Revelations. Oh, like the Matrix Revelations? Let's see what you can sleeve. Okay. Okay, maybe not. Maybe it was supposed to present something. Okay. So it's not the tracks photo, right? It's not the weather data, which is insane. No, it's not that. It's the snow. It's definitely the snow. Everything from like here on has to do more with the snow. Why was it not the weather data? Whatever between 10 and 11. Snow stopped. She's saying the snow time the murder took place, the snow already stopped. So if let's say the murder happened at 10:55. According to this evidence, it's still possible for the murder to have happened after the snow had stopped. So that's inadmissible because this, based off that little bit amount of information, it's still possible. Is it this? No, because the murder, there's still snow. There's no snow, so it's possible for the murder to have happened. Wait. No. I'll try this one. Okay, it's not that. Okay. I think this is gonna be a simple answer. The snow really had stopped by the time of the murder. On to approximately 10:50. It's a bigger hole in our story than the movie The Good Revelations. If it was not on, wait, if the lamp was not on, how was my written so clearly upside down? That's, oh, yeah. That's also one thing, but that's... That's more of a, that's more of a plot problem than even like a, what's it called? An evidence problem, because that doesn't make sense in any how way you think about it, unless something else was going on there. Well, actually, no, there is a way, because there is another light source, but we haven't gotten to that point yet. I mean, all the way across the bridge. Then I use the stone pillar to walk back to the Spirit Temple and use the sea to the way.
Objection!
Not later sketch. Alright, we're just gonna wing this shit. Fuck, I fucked that up. What is it? It's not this, is it? No, okay. It's not the sword either. It's definitely not the dagger. And it's definitely not the plant. How is it not the weather data? Lightning hit the thing at 10:45. The snow had stopped by the murder happened after the snow happened, which means the bridge was on fire. Wait. Oh, don't tell me. Oh, I pressed the wrong statement. It was a trap. Oh, I was presenting on the wrong thing. I was right, but I was hit the wrong thing. You claim that the snow had already stopped when the murder occurred. I'm sorry, Iris, but that just isn't possible. That was the weather data from the night of the murder. According to this, the snow didn't stop until 10:50, but you couldn't have crossed the bridge at that time because at 10:45, the lightning happened, which means it would have been on fire. Why do you say that? Because 5 minutes before the snow stopped, the ski bridge was struck by lightning and had caught on fire. Wow, who guessed? Wow, I guess I never thought that was gonna be a thing. What did you say? The bridge, it was on fire? You don't mean to say you didn't know about it? It was because of the lightning strike that the bridge burned down. It can't be. What do you mean you can't be? It looks like you haven't figured it out. No matter how hard you try to deceive or conceal the truth, you can't pull the wool over the eyes of a real defense attorney. The bridge was already on fire when the incident took place. That's right. The inner temple was already totally cut off from the outside world. There's no way you could have crossed the bridge, body or no body. Even my patience has its limits. Any further lying and I will find you in contempt of court. Do you have anything to say for yourself? Objection. The only person here that is truly contemptible is you. Is it Mr. Wright? Old man. Oh. Whether this witness lied or not doesn't mean jack squat. Doesn't mean squat right now. What? The important thing now is to find out the truth. Isn't that right? Yeah, but whether it was snowing or not snowing, whether the bridge was burning or not, there are two facts that can't be disputed. First, the body of Elise Duxnum was discovered in the Hazakura Temple courtyard. And second, the head nun, there's a bikini, witnessed Iris desecrating Elise Duxnum's body. I wasn't myself all night, so my memory is still somewhat hazy. You have stood at that witness stand and testified this entire time. Are you telling us now that your memory of that night is hazy? It's only human to err. If you're so perfect, Wright, could you explain this to the court? What is it? When the murder happened, the bridge had already burnt down. But somehow the body traveled across the bridge and was found in the temple courtyard. Perhaps you have some kind of perfect explanation for this little magic trick. Unless I somehow demonstrate it, we'll never know the truth. Defense is not prepared to offer a suitable explanation. That's true. You admitted that you moved the victim's body. Nevertheless, your prior testimony contained a rather large inconsistency. Please add an explanation for that in your testimony. Other than walking over the bridge, there's no way to move the body, so I must have gotten confused, I guess. Was the snow head still falling or it stopped? I don't know much. It said that there was a way to cross the burning bridge. It certainly burned to a crisp, and one of the suspension wires had snapped. It's amazing the whole bridge didn't fall. No, it couldn't have worked that way. No. Oh, shit. Clearly it would have been impossible to carry a corpse across a bridge in this condition. This is what our good old friend Larry saw. And he doesn't lie when it comes to women. This is what good old friend Larry saw. That's the bridge. That's the picture of the bridge. I think I know where we're going with this. I'll say this one more time. It's only human to err, and only humans can spot the errors of our ways. This is just round fucking one. God damn. Don't walk in the bridge. There's no way to move the body, so I must have been confused. There's no falling. Doesn't match. You tried to say there's a way to cross the burning bridge. Save. Ooh, boy, it's not gonna work, is it? Oh my god, here we go. A dead body flying over a burning bridge. I wouldn't exactly rule out the possibility. That's right, because both this judge and this prosecutor and this witness have all not seen this picture. Wait, no, I think the witness asked, actually. Okay, the defendant. You're saying it's possible? Don't make me laugh. The only thing that's possible about your claim is that it's been pulled out of thin air. I don't know about that. In any case, we have a witness who did see it happen. Let's do this. Who is it? Who is this witness? Mr. Elise Duxenum's brilliant and highly gifted apprentice, Louise Duxenum. Remember what he said in his testimony. That night he was at the Mountain Shack Heavenly Hell, and that's when he witnessed the event. I think you've all seen this sketch before. This is an exact drawing of what he witnessed that night. Are you seriously claiming that the victim flew through the air? Are you saying this pathetic scribble to support your argument? There's nowhere for you to hide now, other than looking like it was drawn by a 6-year-old. Ouch. Does this sketch prove anything? Yes, I'm pretty sure it does. I'm going to prove it. Listen, I know your tricks. You're trying to turn this whole thing upside down. If you're so eager to turn this case upside down, why don't you start with the sketch? Alright, then let's hear the defense's theory. What exactly is the sketch trying to show? Or the old whisker face is going to be more mistaken. Alright, Phoenix, take carefully and think this over. The sketch drawn by the Duxenum is... exactly what happened. Yep. Of course the victim was flying through the air. You can see it right there in the sketch. Whoosh. You know, I was trying to remind you. Okay. You have evidence that the victim flew through the air. We haven't discovered a giant human catapult at the human temple did. Yep. As lawyer, at least you're 1 cup's worth of entertainment. I think you should skip the penalty this time. Oh my god. Oh my god. It's even worse than taking a penalty. Oh, thank God I didn't do all that. Complete contradiction. Something obviously is funny about this sketch. No, that's not what I mean, Your Honor. The instructor stated over and over that this sketch was exactly as he saw it. However, if we're supposed to believe his testimony, the sketch contradicts reality as we know it. Contradicts reality? Ha. This is getting interesting. Looks like you're back to that finger pointing thing again. Okay, try it. What exactly contradicts reality as we know it? Other people haven't learned to fly yet, or did I miss something? It's the cable, right? You see the cable of the bridge. Or was it the flames on the side? The wire? Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's the wire. It is indeed. It shows reality, which reality is supposed to conflicts with. Here we fucking go. Dusky Bridge photo. That's the photo of Dusky Bridge. Yes, now compare the sketch and the photo for a moment. In the sketch, the wires appear to be above the guard wires. But in the actual Dusky Bridge, jump into Heatafat, the wires are below the guard wires. I'm not gonna lie, when I was playing this the first time, I lost a lot of health here, I think. I'm smarter now. And dumber, but also smarter. But also dumber. The sketch is somewhat different than what's depicted in the photo. However, isn't it likely that the artist saw it wrong, or perhaps he drew it wrong? Either way, it sounds like you're just wrong. With someone like Luis, I admit a mistake is a definite possibility, but then that begins the question: why did he make a mistake, and what was the reason? Are you saying you know the answer to that? Listen, think back, alright? Remember what Luis was doing when he witnessed this event. He was at the Heavenly Hall waiting for a lover that was never going to come. He waited and waited and finally laid down. But then, lightning shoots from the sky and sets the bridge aflame. Now ponder what sort of position Luis must have been in at that time. He was lying on his back, which is why he remembered the scene the way he did. That's right, Mary, upside down. See how this works. But it does, Your Honor. If the reason why the wires in the sketch go up instead of down... no way. Luis Dirksenum, aka Larry, witnessed the event while he was laying on his back face up. In other words, the scene that he saw was actually upside down. So then this sketch should actually, I get it, me on it. The correct way to view Luis Dirksenum's sketch is like this. This is how it should actually look. The victim's body wasn't flying above the bridge, it was actually swinging below. That's right, like a pendulum.
Objection.
A pendulum? The bridge was burning to a crisp. There was no way to get across, but if the body had been found at the inner temple, it would have caused problems. This is where the criminal decided to take a gamble. They used the burning bridge to get the body across to the other side. That pendulum was the only way to get it done. Dusky Bridge is about 20 yards long, which means it's about that far from the inner temple to the opposite side of the cliff. Yes, that's about right. In order to cover that distance with the pendulum, you need a rope at least 10 yards long. To get a rope that long, you have to have a plan ahead. Lightning strike that night could have been an accident, so it doesn't make sense the culprit would have prepared the rope beforehand. So then, they didn't have to get the rope ready. The rope was already right in front of them. I'm saying that it was just a matter of using what was already there. In that case, Mr. Wright, please give us an explanation to explore your theory. Let me see if the criminal had a rope to hand for the pendulum. All right, the photo. The meaning of this is, if you want to know where the rope came from, it's hanging right there in front of your glorious bridge. Beard. This is one of the wires from the bridge. When the lightning struck the bridge and set it on fire, one of the suspension wires came loose from its anchor. The criminal didn't have any time to waste, so they tied the wire around loose Duxonum's body and click. Because there was simply no other way to move the body. Honestly, I am surprised that worked out for the murderer. Just saying. Just saying. Mr. Got it. Odds of the vote being readily available were very high. I suppose it's not an impossibility after all. Impossible, that's not the question we need to ask. There's only one question: did that really happen? Right, I wonder if you can prove what happened to us. Do you have any actual evidence that the body was swung over like a pendulum? Oh. Before I present my evidence, let me review what we know so far. According to this photo, one of the wires snapped. Looking at the map, we can see that it was in the front of the inner temple. And then that was the spot where the criminal, yes, precisely. And let's consider the body's movement by looking at the overhead map again. The body was pushed from this point here. It would drop on the opposite bank at approximately this point. Well, they must have failed to catch the body on the other bank. What makes you think that something like that happened? Because I have an evidence that suggests her body dropped some distance. Take a look at this autopsy report. It says here that her body fell about 10 feet after her death. 10 feet high, that's most likely the height difference between the two sides. The body overswung due to the forward momentum, but then came loose and fell about 10 feet. And then as a result of the landing impact, this crystal sphere was knocked loose. Yes, this blood-stained crystal, amethyst crystal, the one that was on her staff. And even more important is the place where this crystal sphere was found. Which was found exactly where she would have landed. In the very spot the pendulum would arrive if given the right amount of speed. Yay, physics! This explains your theory quite well, Mr. Wright. You proved us with the way the body could have been moved that night. An impressive deduction, Mr. Wright. Most impressive. That was a dark and bitter guess you made, Wright. But you forgot about one thing. The aroma. Of the coffee? I swear to fucking God. Coffee's most reliable accomplice is its deep and profound aroma. The rest of the court can't speak Coffinese. Hey, you can't say that. Can you elaborate a bit more? If the criminal had sent the body to the other side like you say, then naturally there must have been an accomplice lying in wait to catch it. The criminal wasn't able to cross Dusky Bridge, so who collected the body? What to say about that, right? Okay. It can only be you, Sister Iris. I don't see why you're so surprised. The only way to transfer the body from Dusky Bridge is by snowmobile, but with her bad luck, bad back, Mr. Bikini could never pick up a body like that. You're the only one that could have managed it. Iris, your cutie pie, was on the cleanup duty in the inner temple gate after the mother-daughter bloodbath. Objection! I haven't forgotten, but have you, Mr. Goddard? This witness was also seen at Hazakura Temple, desecrating the corpse of the victim. You said that she had to be over there. That's one of the two facts, Goddard, that you said is 100% like solid, is that she had to be on the left side and not the right side. On the night, the defendant was in two different places at the same time. Huh. Mr. Iris, let me ask you something. Why didn't you mention it when you first gave your testimony? Mention what? The pendulum, of course. Using the sketch drawn by an eyewitness, I have established how the body was moved using the burnt-out bridge, which means it's now a fact that this occurred, something you should have already known. But the body couldn't have been passed along to the other side without your help. So you should have known about it. In fact, it would be impossible for you to be clueless about this whole thing, unless you're not really Iris to begin with. Oh! Oh, let's fucking go! Now we're getting to the fucking best twist in this fucking game. How can you say that, Mr. Wright? What kind of nonsense is this? You're saying this witness isn't Iris of Hazakura Temple? Are you serious, Trite? You mean this woman is... Yeah, goddamn fucking right. There's no one else besides Iris that could have received the corpse that night. Now I get it. Now I know why I've been sick to my stomach this whole trial. Why her whole demeanor changed so suddenly from yesterday. Why she's trying to pin this murder on Maya. The woman that's standing here at the witness stand, her real name is... Hot fucking damn. It's my crazy ex-girlfriend. I never thought I had to utter your name again. Let alone see you. It's been a long time, Dahlia Hawthorne. Hawthorne? Sister Iris had a twin sister. And you're looking after her, and you look at her, Miss Dahlia Hawthorne. That name rings some bells, distant bells, but bells nonetheless. It's just your imagination, Gramps. This file contains all the relevant data about Dahlia Hawthorne. See, and here's the big thing, though. She's dead. If Dahlia Hawthorne's dead... My name is Dahlia Hawthorne. I just wanted to say it's an honor for me to be here in your noble presence. The honor's all mine, blah, blah, blah. Big question is, whose body is she in right now? It's already dead. It says her execution was carried out last month. So what? That has no meaning in this courtroom. So the question is, when did this... What kind of... And you of all people should already understand. After all, the blood of the master of the Korean Italian technique flows within that body. Now where have I heard that? That's right, you're not Dahlia herself. You're the spirit of Dahlia, currently inhabiting the spirit body of a spirit medium. Exciting story, exciting but quite impossible. You're asking us to buy that Dahlia Hawthorne just happened to be channeled by someone on the very night of the murder to a temple where her twin sister Iris was? Well, if you're gonna put it that way, the things that way, then yes. We're supposed to believe a coincidence like that just happens? Naturally, it was no coincidence. whole thing was part of a plan from the very beginning. It was written right here in these instructions. What's that? The instructions were written by your mother, Morgan Fay. A part of the plan called for Dahlia Hawthorne to be channeled. That night, there were 2 irises at Hazakura Temple. 2 of them. Even the time of the channeling was planned out. As soon as you hear the lights out bell, in other words, 10 p.m. However, Iris was seen before dinner time. That means Iris that was at dinner was the real Iris, and the Iris who gave me the hood in the main hall was also the real Iris, meaning that the Iris Sister Bikini saw at the inner temple was someone else dressed as her, namely one Dahlia Hawthorne. Do you even know what you're saying, Trite? This whole channel and spirit Dahlia Hawthorne business. Yes, it's true that you found plans to talk about it. However, there's only one thing that's perfectly clear. The witness currently standing in the witness stand is the real Iris. Calm down, remember what you know about the night of the crime. After meeting Sister Bikini, Dahlia Hawthorne, the Dahlia Hawthorne that had been channeled would have been stranded at the inner temple due to lightning strikes. It was later that the body was moved by the pendulum. That's right. Naturally, that would mean that the Iris that received the body was the real Iris. Are you with me so far? Yes. After being notified of what happened, the police came to Hazakura Temple's main hall. They found Iris in her room and arrested her. And ever since then, she's been under police supervision at the detention center. Yeah, except for one time. There's one time. Oh, you weren't here last time either. There was an earthquake. And we have one guy, if you remember from the first game, who does not like earthquakes. In fact, he has whatever the equivalent of a phobia for earthquakes is. And guess what? Guess who he was supposed to be guarding at that time? Her. Guess what she did? She ran away. And she was like, oh, I had to make sure that the inner temple was going to be fine. Okay? Huh. If that's the case, if she was left unattended, the real Iris, and went to the main temple, what could she have done there? Looks like she's finally convinced. There's something that seems way off. So convinced that Iris is the same one from the other night. Suppose you say something really ridiculous? Like the real Iris and the spirit of Dahlia somehow switched places? There are so quite a few things I don't understand, but I do now that unless we confirm the witnesses, then we can't enter into this trial. Iris doesn't have the spiritual power needed to channel Dahlia, which means they must have switched places somewhere. Well, Mr. Wright, since the time she was arrested at Hazakura Temple, have there been any chances for Iris to have switched places with Dahlia Hawthorne? There was one. Your Honor, I think there might have been one chance. Explain yourself. Yesterday, for a few minutes, Iris's whereabouts were unknown. What I mean is, there was a span of time in which Iris was able to move about freely unsupervised. Well, who was it? Who would have given a murder suspect time to move about freely like that? I'm sorry, I know you didn't mean to, it wasn't your fault. The person who gave it freely was... Mr. Edgeworth, is it? Your Honor. There was a fairly large earthquake yesterday, was there not? Earthquake? Hey, he's got a phobia of Edgeworths because it was involved in the death of his father, so he's kind of traumatized. How could I have? She fled, she escaped. We went to the inner temple right away. And it's true, Iris was already there. However, they had already switched places by that point in time. When I arrived at the training hall, I was met by none other than Dahlia Hawthorne. No dozens white man with it. Oh! Got her. Got her. It's been a long time, Mr. Judge. That voice. Guess I'll have to ask again. Upon meeting a beautiful lady, always ask for her name and profession. That's one of my rules. Nice use of something from the past. Dahlia Hawthorne. And my current profession? Permanently retired. So you're not going to bother hiding your identity anymore, huh? Why should I? After all, I'm dead. There's really nothing you can do to punish me. But this time I'll end it for her and for myself. To be continued. Has in the first half, not gonna lie. Now then, let's continue where we left off, shall we? Well, witness, yes, how can I help you, Mr. Judge? Well, it seems if we're to learn the truth, we need to hear your testimony. I have no problem with that. When you've seen what I've seen, sometimes the truth is better left unknown. In any case, let's hear your testimony. Tell us about the night, the plan that was carried out that night. The whole plan began with my death, a stupid plan hatched by Morgan Fay to install her own daughter as the next master. But for it to work, Maya Fay would first have to die. The deal was for me to kill Maya and then have the blame pinned on Iris. The plan went wrong, but it seems to have succeeded anyway. So that means you really are. Wait a minute. Did you just say the plan was to kill Maya Fay? Yes, you have a problem with that? Don't give us that nonsense. There's no way that... Watch yourself, Wright. If you got a problem, solve it during cross-examination. That's one of my rules. Mr. Garter is correct. And by the way, that's one of my rules as well. Alright, we're tearing this down piece by piece. You were executed last month, correct? Yes, I was hanged. It wasn't exactly pleasant. How did you manage to discuss the plan? When did you talk to Morgan Fay? Last year, she was transferred to the same detention center as me. Since I was on death row and she was my mother, it was actually pretty easy to meet with her. I see. So that's when you discussed the plan. Huh, are you crazy? At first, that woman was planning to kill me as well, even though I'm her own daughter. All to make Pearl Fay the master crane. She's a cold, twisted woman. She thought she could finally regain her lost honor. The honor she lost when her younger sister Misty took her place as the master. Ever since that day, she's been working on this plan. That's right, this is all stuff from the second game. Coming back now. A stupid plan hatched by Morgan Fay to install her own master. Okay. Talking about Pearl Fay, is that correct? Pearl didn't deserve this. Pearl deserved a better family than this. At least she got her cousin Maya's solid. Yes, though at first she had high hopes for the two of us. You and your twin sister Iris, that's correct. Fortunately, neither of us had spiritual power. That's why we were abandoned by her, along with our father. Abandoned? The only person I ever cared to care about in life was myself. Yeah, poor Pearl. And Pearl got the note from her mom too and was just like, oh, I failed what my mom wanted me to do. I just wanted to make her proud. Did I make her proud? And Wright was just like, yeah, because he didn't have the heart to tell her, like, you know, your mom was trying to, because she like misunderstood words. Like the thing says, the note that she got says that she's supposed to gravely roast the master in the fire of Hades and bring a vengeance to fruition and shit. And she thought that she meant that she needed to take the food that they had, the pot roast and the gravy, and put it onto a picture of Misty Fay. And she's like, I was supposed to gravely roast her. And it's like, oh, you poor girl. You poor dumb girl. My sister was a nuisance, so I convinced my father to leave her at an old temple. You mean Iris? Yes. My father married a woman who also had a daughter. The less children you have, the more money there is to go around, right? And on top of that, my father absolutely had no interest in children in general. The really horrible one was that woman, that bitter, vengeful woman. It was her stubbornness that gave birth to that child. She's born with an abundance in spiritual power, unfortunately for her. Morgan Fay heaped all of her broken hopes and dreams onto that poor child's back. She's not, she may be a bitch, but she's right. All because of her pathetic dreams of having her bloodline become the main family. For it to work, Maya Fay would first have to die. Maya would have to die, but why? For our bloodline to succeed as the main family, thus making Pearl the new master, the remaining descendants of the current master had to be taken care of. But Pearl would never agree to a plan like that. She adores Maya. How sad, you still don't get it, do you? What Pearl wanted had nothing to do with it. Morgan didn't care one bit about Pearl. The only thing she cared about was the position of the master. That's all. That's ridiculous. She was willing to sacrifice anything and anyone to achieve her goal. The life of her daughter, and naturally the life of Maya Fay as well. The idea was for me to kill Maya and then have the blame pinned on Iris. You were going to kill Maya, you remember this, didn't know anything about it. All she had to do was to follow the instructions in the letter and channel me. Then I would have simply used her body and finished the job. In any case, I'm already dead and there's nothing any of you can do to me. So the plan was to blame the crime on the younger twin, on Sister Iris of Hazakura Temple. She and I look absolutely identical, no one can tell us apart. If someone would have witnessed me killing Maya, naturally they would think it was Iris that had done it. And the witness in this case was the head nun, Sister Bikini. I never would have guessed she was going to return to Hazakura Temple that night, but she wound up seeing Iris's crime anyway. Why do you want to pin the murder on Iris in the first place? She's your twin sister, isn't she? Twin sister? Don't make me laugh. She's nothing but a backstabber. I couldn't care less about her. You just don't understand. You just don't get it, do you? You never will. Anyway. Plan went wrong since I've succeeded anyway. You think the plan was a success? You heard me, just as that woman had hoped. Maya Fay is dead. Now the title of the master will pass on to Pearl Fay. That's absurd. Maya is she's just trapped inside the sacred cavern. Really? You're as foolishly optimistic as ever, aren't you, my darling Feeny? Fuck you, you can't tell me that now anymore. Do you want to know the truth? Ever since we met, I've despised you, you sniveling naivety, and your pathetic faith in other people. I just want to know one thing. What did you personally think of Morgan Fay's plan? Staying on task, Phoenix. Good plan. Don't let it get under your skin. I told you already, didn't I? It was a stupid plan. It had no point, no value other than fulfilling our own greedy desires. Yes, it was certainly nothing to be proud of. That's how I feel. Why did you help her carry it out? Why would you do it? Why would you kill Maya? You may not understand it. Being the kind and gentle soul that you are, you may not be able to appreciate why someone like me would help a woman like that. So then tell me why. Isn't it obvious? I'm not like that woman. I only act in my own self-interest. The reason I helped her was for myself. For my own personal satisfaction. What did you say? Dolly Hawthorne. She had her own reason for wanting Maya dead? Do you understand why I would kill Maya Fay? What my goal was? Obviously, it's because you were helping Morgan Fay. Helping? Don't make me laugh. From the day I was born, from the day I died, I never helped anyone. I lived for myself, and in the end, I died for myself. I thought that was obvious. So she wasn't cooperating with Morgan. She was just using Morgan to run a plan so she can accomplish her own goal. All I wanted to do was kill Maya Fay. That was the only way I could think of getting at revenge. Revenge? It looks like I have no choice but to present that piece of evidence. I can't believe it. Okay. Save. It's either the hanging scroll. Or this. Okay, so it's not that. Low. So it's either the hanging scroll, the master crane thing. It's either that, this. Okay, it's not that. Oh, maybe a picture of just Elise in itself. Okay, so okay, then it's the picture of Elise. It has to be. No? Okay. Interesting. The crime photo. If not, I'm gonna have to try people. If not that, and it's either well, yeah. Then it is. Could it be? I don't like presenting people as evidence because it's very sketch and it's very vague. But yeah, this is definitely the answer. Could it be that your actual goal had nothing to do with Maya's Faye herself? As I said, none of you have the power to punish me anymore because I'm already dead. Well, I had the same problem you see. You can't punish the dead, and you can't take a revenge against either of them. Against them either. You wanted to take revenge on someone? I was sentenced to die because of that woman, Mia Faye. So I knew this was it. I wanted to send her a message. It was at her hands that I suffered my first humiliation. I wanted her to feel the same pain she made me feel. Sadly, when I realized revenge was impossible, I gave up. The reason it was impossible? Was it perhaps because Mia Faye had already died? Yes, and I realized there's only one way to take revenge against the dead. And how do you do that? Even when the body dies, it's the spirit, the ego, it lives on forever. I wanted to take away the person that Mia Faye loved most. I wanted to kill her with my own hands. That would be the one and the only way I could take my revenge against Mia Faye. That was the reason I helped out with that woman's plans. Just for that, and just for that you would kill Maya? Your goal is no different than that of Morgan Faye. As they say, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Yeah, this whole family's fucked up. What a cool plan. Cool, cold, and heartless. Heartless? Don't waste your time preaching to the dead. I've already told you there's not a thing you can do to me. That night, at about 9:30 p.m., I was materialized into this world. I quickly pinned my hair up and put on a demon warding hood. And I picked up the staff that was by my side and left Hazakura Temple. So the least Duxenum who challenged her after all. Which explains because Pearl, I mentioned before when we first started off and when I was giving the recap, Pearl got that letter. Pearl got this burnt letter. And the whole thing is that it says that was opened once before. And it's because Elise opened it, aka Misty Faye opened it, was like, oh bitches, I see what you're trying to do in my family. Okay. So she channeled the spirit instead of Pearl. Because, Pearl shouldn't have to go through that shit. That ridiculous head nun never noticed a thing. She left Maya Faye at the inner temple and while we're back clutching her Pearl back. That kid was easier to handle than I had hoped. I caught up with her in the front of the stone lantern. And then I took out the dagger I got from the storeroom and... So then you're saying that you stabbed Maya. Strange, but I don't have a clear memory of what happened after that. What does that mean? No clear memory? I don't know. I think I was stabbed. You were stabbed? At the last minute, Maya Fey must have stabbed me. I'm sure of it. That's not like her at all. Maya wouldn't stab a French fry with a plastic fork. Anyway, I suddenly lost consciousness. Before I did, I scrawled her name on the lantern. Just as I passed out, I wrote Maya behind my back. I hoped it would cast suspicion on her. That's where my memory temporarily stops. I don't have any memory of actually killing Maya Fey with my own 2 hands. My very last memory was Maya's terror-filled eyes. When I woke up after that, I was in the sacred cavern surrounded by darkness. The entire entrance was sealed with one of the trick locks. Somehow I'd been trapped in there. How did he wind up in there? I'd like to know that myself. Anyway, I was worried. I didn't know whether or not Maya Fey was dead. I swore I wouldn't return to the underworld until I knew I had killed her myself. For Ghost, you're one tough cookie. I wanted to get out of there and make sure she was dead. I couldn't do it. I couldn't get out. The trick lock stopped you, huh? And how to remove it. So then you're saying you actually confined against your will inside the sacred cavern? I want to get rid of that annoying lock as soon as possible, but it wasn't easy. I kept getting interrupted while I was working on it. It was early in the morning, but someone came into the training hall. If someone had spotted me, it would have lost my chance to take revenge, so I made sure to hide myself at the back of the sacred cavern. That morning, only 2 people could have gone into the training hall. Maya and Pearls. Pearls went there to cover the hanging squirrel and gravy. So I finally managed to remove the lock, but I was too late. What do you mean by that? The flies had already started to gather. The bridge had been fixed and the police had started the investigation, correct? Naturally, I couldn't go out, so instead I returned to the cavern and put the lock back on myself. I realized I couldn't get a chance to see Maya's corpse as I had hoped, but just then Lady Luck showed up. After that big earthquake, she showed up all by herself. The real Iris. She said she'd come to make sure that the sacred cavern was alright. Stupid girl. I came out from the sacred cavern and got a feel for the situation. And I locked her away in my place. So right now in the sacred cavern, Iris, not Dahlia, is locked up in there. I finally learned exactly what had happened. It was then that I learned that the plan had actually succeeded. I had misunderstood one thing. That night, one thing had summoned me. I assumed it was Pearl Fey. You would have assumed that was. It was written in the instructions. But I was wrong. The person that actually called my spirit back was Misty Fey, the picture book author. Well, that's really the only possibility, isn't it? After I lost consciousness in the garden, it was her body that was left lying there. Maya Fey, I wasn't able to kill her with my own hands after all, but even so, I made her commit the most vile sin a human can commit, and that is matricide, the sin of killing her own mother. Phoenix, think about this. Think about this very fucking hard. It's true that I was the one who attacked Maya Fey, but even so, the murderer who actually snuffed out Misty Fey's life was none other than your darling little Maya. Phoenix, think about this. Are you sure about that? Just think about it. There's even evidence supporting these facts, isn't there? The fact that Maya Fey has disappeared is evidence enough, huh? The idea that she's still in the sacred cavern is just ridiculous. She wasn't able to escape from the inner temple, that much is obvious. In that case, there's only one place she could be. Do I have to spell it out? The bottom of the Eagle River. Where else? Maya Fey killed her long-lost mother. Can you imagine the guilt she must have felt when she realized that? That's why she threw herself into the Eagle River. Most bodies that wind up in there are lost forever. So, what do you have to say now, Feeny? Oops. Sorry, that's my phone. Got it here. Okay, thanks. They just finished removing the locks from the sacred cavern. What about Maya? There was a woman in the cave. Was it Maya Fey? It was the accused, Sister Iris. Don't look so surprised. I locked her in there yesterday. I just finished telling you that. So what about Maya? Where is she? There's no one else found inside the sacred cavern. Guys, think about this. I told you, didn't I? She's dead. I said something earlier now that was a clue of what's going on. Sadly, it appears the killer of Lee Stuxnum, also known as Misty Fey, was her own daughter, Maya Fey. Overcome with guilt for what she had done, Maya Fey jumped to her death into the raging waters of the Eagle River. Right. Have you ever heard this one? Once you eliminate the impossible, whatever remains must be the truth. That's a famous Detective Conan line. Well, it's a famous Sherlock Holmes line that I hear a lot in Detective Conan. No matter how improbable it may seem. What is that supposed to mean? The prosecutor got it. According to this witness, Maya Fey threw herself into the Eagle River. However, is that really the truth? Remember, this woman testified earlier that the bridge was already on fire when the murder was taking place in the garden, which means that Maya had thrown herself into the river. It must have been from the inner temple side near the bridge. That's right, that's where she jumped from. But that's impossible. It's impossible to jump into the river from there. Don't get your panties all twisted up, Wright. Just relax and think through the whole thing again. Come on, man. Maya could have thrown herself into the Eagle River. Well, Mr. Wright, Miss Hawthorne claims Miss Fey threw herself into the river from the inner temple side. Do you have any evidence that refutes this claim? It's impossible to jump into the Eagle River from the inner temple side. No one knows that better than this witness. What did you say? 11 years ago, you jumped into the very same river. Just take a look at this overhead map. Wow, look at all that horrid space on the side. As you can see, below the cliff on the inner temple side is a big rock shelf. Yep, you're right. She wouldn't have reached the river if she had jumped from over there. In other words, if she had jumped, we should be able to see her body in this photo. No. Order. You're just playing with me. Maya Fey's body is at the bottom of the Eagle River. There's nowhere else she could be possibly hiding. Miss Hawthorne, have you ever heard of this one before? Once you eliminate the impossible, whatever remains must be the truth. Yes, just a few minutes ago. Maya Fey wasn't inside the sacred cavern. We now know, that she didn't throw herself into the Eagle River. Correct. That eliminates all the most likely possibilities. Now, although it seems improbable, there's still one other place she could be. What was one possibility you were talking about? That's obviously a bluff. So where's her dead body then? Finally, I think the pieces are falling into place. The second twist. Normally, the living will have no way to punish the dead. but I think there was a way to give Dahlia Hawthorne the ultimate punishment. Shall I tell you, Miss Hawthorne? Shall I tell you where Maya Fey is in this instant? In this very courtroom. There's only one possibility left, namely, she's right here in this very courtroom. What? Maya Fey is here? You saying she's in my courtroom? Man, I'm speaking fast. Dahlia Hawthorne, I seem to recall that you said I had misunderstood one thing, you see. So what? But I think there's one more thing you misunderstood. What do you mean? Tell me something. At this very moment, who is channeling Dahlia Hawthorne? Right, that's obvious. It's Pearl Fey, that pathetic little sniveling one. You're wrong. Pearl's tried, but she couldn't do it. I've never failed at channeling someone. This is the first time it's happened. Isn't there any explanation for why you couldn't channel a spirit? This is also from last time. It could happen if someone else was already channeling the same spirit. Someone called me before Pearl did, but who? Pearl's even tried again on the day after the crime, but she couldn't do it. What could that mean? I think the truth is becoming clearer to you right about now. Am I correct? It wasn't Pearls that channeled you. There was someone else who called you before she could. This is an easy one. Pearls couldn't do it, and Misty Fey has gone. There's only one possibility left. Come on already. I can't stand the tension. Dahlia Hawthorne, the person channeling you right now must be Maya Fey. But how could that be? Remember what I said when she first showed up? I was like, who's channeling her body? Whose body is she using right now? But how could that be? Remember what this witness Dahlia Hawthorne said about her goal. She said that her goal was to kill Maya Fey. Yes, that's right. But if Maya channeled that spirit of someone that was trying to kill her, well, Gramps, what would happen? Could it be? It looks like you finally understand, Your Honor. Well, I don't. What are you going on about? What I'm going on about is the reason Maya challenged you, and there's only one reason: to protect herself from you. Yep. On the night of the crime, you were only interested in one thing: killing Maya Fey. The path behind Hazakura was closed off and there was nowhere for you to run. So then the problem became, where would be the safest place to hide? It's like, keep your friends close, but keep your enemies closer? That's the definition of what's going on right now. Where would be the safest place to hide? You mean, that's when she channeled me? Can't kill her if you are her. Exactly. All this time you thought you had been channeled by Pearls. That's why it never occurred to you. For once, Maya had one of the biggest brain moves in the goddamn planet. Possibly one of the biggest brain moves in the goddamn series so far. Other than something from one other game we'll get to. If I remember that, and I remember that, I'll tell you, this is the biggest brain move I've ever seen. That Maya's hiding place was you. Oh, she pissed. You're saying that Dahlia Hawthorne, was played for a fool by that little whelp? Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what we're saying. Good thing you got up. Maya Fey killed herself. Isn't it obvious? Sorry, but no. It would have been impossible for her to jump into Eagle River. This was the only avenue to escape open to Maya. The only way that Maya could disappear from Inner Temple. I don't believe you. A stupid little girl like that who has never been out in the real world. She could never have come up with a plan like that. Who could have given her such a brilliant idea? Well, me, of course. Mia! Oh! It's been a long time, Dahlia Hawthorne. So it's true. It was you. Yes. Ah, you're something else. But what? Oh, what are you doing here? That here, it's Pearls, right? Tell me something, Dahlia. I want you to think back to that night one more time. You had just cornered Maya in the Inner Temple's garden, and then, in the final moment of the fight, you lost consciousness. I was stabbed by Maya Fey. Actually, Maya lost consciousness at the same time as you. She did? Not terribly surprising since she was about to be killed. When she woke up, she was in the training hall. That's when Maya decided she needed help, so she channeled me. She explained in a memo the situation she was in, and she's done this before. She did this at the end of the second case, where she was like, fuck, I don't know what's going on. She asked me what I had thought she should do. Everything that's happened has been a callback to all the cases, except for the circus case. We're gonna talk about that. Of course, I didn't have all the details, but one thing was perfectly clear, and that was I knew that you couldn't be allowed to wander free. What do you mean? It was a race against time, so I wrote down 2 things that Maya had to do. Channel Dahlia Hawthorne as soon as possible, and lock herself in the sacred cavern until help arrived. So it was Maya who put that lock on there. Yes, but why did you order her to do those 2 things? If she hadn't done it, Dahlia Hawthorne would have been channeled by someone else. By one Pearl Fey. Yes, Pearl probably didn't properly understand the plan, so all she was trying to do was follow her mother, Morgan Frey's instructions. Poor girl. If she had succeeded in channeling Dahlia Hawthorne's spirit, things would have been turned out very badly, to put it mildly. So that's how it was. Dahlia Hawthorne would have had used the body of Pearl Fey to kill Maya at all costs. Yes, it certainly sounds like that was the intent all along. How dare you? I won't forget this. Why not just admit it, Dahlia Hawthorne? Your little plan was nothing but a big failure. Yes. Another failure to add to a pile of shame, wouldn't you say? Oh, even from death, you're still dueling. Let's fucking go. What do you mean by another? Think about it, Dahlia. Remember all your past crimes? Not a single one of them was a success. They all ended in failure. What? How dare you? 11 years ago. The fake kidnapping, your very first crime. You got your hands on a $2 million diamond, but after Terry Falls escaped and went to meet with Valerie Hawthorne, your stepsister, as now we know it, the truth was exposed. To shut your mouth, that wasn't my fault. It was because of that stupid oaf of a prisoner and that weakling of a policewoman. And then, 1 year later, you tried to kill me. Well, I'm still alive, but you wound up killing someone else. As a result, you were sentenced to death. Man, capital punishment ain't a joke in this universe. It's one stupid move after another for you, but it's no longer funny. You wipe that smug, happy-go-lucky smile off your face. And now this. You've messed up again. You let Maya Fey escape, even though she was right there in front of you. You spinster. I was supposed to kill Maya Fey like I swore I would. And if only you had gotten this spiky-haired jerk the guilty verdict, I wouldn't have been hanged to death. True. But I think you finally understand, Dahlia Hawthorne. You would never defeat me. What did you say? Whether you're alive, dead, or somewhere in between, you would never defeat me. As long as I'm around, you're destined to lose for all of eternity. Even in death, she'll beat your fucking ass. I remember what you said early in the trial. You said there was no way we could punish you because you were already dead. What about it? Then you said, even when the body dies, the spirit, the ego, it lives on forever. That's very true, Dahlia. And that's exactly the punishment you'll never be able to escape from. For all of eternity, you'll have to remain as Dahlia Hawthorne, a miserable, pathetic, weak creature who can never win at anything, and for you, there is no escape from that, no hope for freedom. Since the day you were executed, the narrow bridge that once stretched out in front of you has burnt to a crisp. You mad, bro? It no longer matters. I don't care whether you win or lose anymore. The only thing I want is for you to come out of Maya's body right now. I'm not ready. Not ready to go. Yeah, well. GG. Easy. No fucking re, you son of a bitch. Nick. Sis. And you probably gonna collapse. Yeah. This is a demon, not a spirit. Yeah. The same. Now then, I assume you are the real Iris? Yes, I was just rescued from the sacred cavern. I must say, you and your twin sister are indeed identical from what I can see. In any case, it appears that everything has been cleared up. Mr. Goddard, what happened to Dahlia Hawthorne? If you ask me, Your Honor, it looks like she went back to the hell she came from. You're goddamn right. It seems like Misty Faye wasn't the only victim of this crime. Maya Faye, as well as the young Pearl Faye, were also victims of this wicked and selfish plan. Yes, Your Honor. The tragedy of Medium Valley has come to an end, it seems. It would be best for everyone if no further attempt was made to channel that spirit again. No fucking shit. Your Honor? Yes, what is it? About this whole spirit medium thing. It's almost weird how comfortable you seem to be with the concept now. Well, to be frank, my younger brother is quite judgmental. He often criticizes me for not studying hard enough. That's why I made a concerted effort to study up on the Korean channeling technique. Reading a fucking tabloid, a fantasy tabloid? Yeah, it works. I've seen quite a few things in my many years on the bench, and all that time I finally learned this one thing. Each case is different, takes place in its own world, if you will. In order to fully understand that world, first we have to immerse ourselves in it completely. That's the smartest thing you've ever said. And that's where my brother and I used to differ. At any rate, it sounded to bubble. Oh, I went too fast. Oh! Round 3, begin. You were a little too fast with the gravel, Your Honor. What do you mean by that, Mr. Goddard? This trial, it isn't over yet. That's what he means. What? Right. Remember what Miss Evil Spirit said in her testimony? Huh? Dahlia's testimony? I caught up with her in front of the stone lantern. Then I took out the dagger and got from the storeroom and... It's strange, but I don't have any clear memory of what happened after that. I think I was stabbed. 2 things. 1, just as Dahlia Hawthorne was about to attack Maya, she was killed and stabbed by someone. And 2, how did Maya, who fainted in the little garden / patio area, end up in the other area in the inner temple? Because it definitely wasn't Dahlia who took her. She was stabbed and killed by someone. Yes, that's right. The person that was ultimately killed was the spirit medium that channeled Dahlia. At least that's no, Misty Faye. But who killed her? We still don't know who did it. This isn't over? Unless someone else is found guilty, the accused is still on trial. We can't let her walk until there is evidence that proves her innocence. No way, but this court isn't prepared for any further testimony. The prosecution is ready to call a final witness. A final witness? This one will clear up the whole mystery. The mystery of who killed Misty Faye. Indeed. Is it really alright, Mr. Prosecutor? Of course it's alright, Madam Attorney. Very well then, who is this final witness? Ha! Isn't it obvious? There's one person who saw the whole event and will put the final dagger in this case. Someone who saw the murder take place. The very person who saw her mother killed in front of her own eyes. You mean Maya? She can't testify after what she's been through. We need to find the truth. The prosecution calls Maya Fey to the witness stand. Very well, but first we'll take a brief recess. We'll have to wait for Miss Fey to recover before summoning her. Once we receive the doctor's permission, we will proceed with the trial. Hey, Wright, I've got something to say to you, so listen up. What is it? I don't think much of you as a lawyer. It's always the same with you. You somehow manage to just squeak by without even a faint understanding of the case. Yeah, that's what this game is about. Some beautiful woman always seems to come dashing in at the last minute to save you. You've got some nerve. But that's not going to happen this time. This time, you're going to have to do this by yourself. That's enough. This court is now in recess. I'm truly sorry about everything. You were working so hard to defend me, but I was missing all day and we didn't even have a chance to talk. She's right. When I met Iris at the training hall yesterday, they already switched places and Iris was inside the sacred cavern. I wanted to at least be in the defendant's box today to root you on. Well, it wasn't your fault. You were locked up this whole time. There's something more important than that, though. I have to ask you. Why did you help your sister out as much as you did? Huh? If you had tried to get help at the sacred cavern yesterday, you wouldn't have spent an entire day locked up in there. My sister, I feel sorry for her. Why? She was abandoned by her mother and never got any love from her father either. Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yes, but it was the same for you, wasn't it? Oh, she's basically Azula. Yes, but at least I had, and she's like Iroh and she's like Zuko. But at least I had Sister Bikini who was like a mother to me. If only Dahlia had come with me to Hazakura Temple. I always loved her. Dahlia was always so smart, so strong, she never complained about a thing. That's why I promised her that I would help her. Are you talking about the fake kidnapping case 11 years ago? Yes. I wanted to be useful to her in some way. But, as usual, I was too cowardly at the last minute. I ran away. Because of that, Dahlia's stepsister Valerie ended up. That was the case that wounded Mia so badly. But things didn't end up there, of course. Some people suspected that my sister was involved in the murder. Some people, you must mean, yes, 2 defense attorneys. Mia Fey and Diego Armando. Yep, the loop never ends. After poisoning Mr. Armando, who was getting too close to learning the truth, Dahlia even tried to kill the person who had unknowingly hid the poison for her. You. That's right. Iris, there's one more thing I have to ask you. Yes, what is it? On the night of the murder, the person that cleaned up the corpse of the victim, at least Dixonum, was it really you? Yes, it was me. That night, after I rang the lights out bell, I went back to my room. At around 10:30, I received a call on my cell phone. There's a problem. Come to the inner temple right away. I got on the snowmobile and headed to the inner temple. But the path to the inner temple was cut off, right? Exactly. We can't just leave the body here. So you're gonna have to do this exactly as I say, got it? It was me. I was the one that received her body. The murder weapon had been left in her body so she wouldn't bleed too much. The staff that Mystic Elise always held. I knew it. So the actual murder weapon was the staff. Yes, that's right. I brought the body back to Hazakura Temple on the snowmobile. But why? Why did you alter the body? I didn't want anyone to know that the staff was the murder weapon. I didn't want to leave anything that would lead back to Misty Faye. So I dressed her in the robe and stabbed her with a sashito. I wiped the blood off the staff's blade and left it next to her on the ground. Iris, just tell me one last thing. Tell me the name of the person that called you the cell phone, the real killer. I'm sorry, Mr. Wright. I can't do it. I can't say who did it. I see. Defendant, yes? The judge is calling. He wants to see you in his chambers. He has some questions about Dolly Hawthorne. All right. Well then, I'll see you later. There's something I want to tell you. Oh, okay. It's just a bikini, isn't? I was cooperated with the real killer, maybe from the very beginning. Phoenix. Mia, how is Maya doing? Physically, I'm not worried. She'll recover completely, but emotionally, she's been hurt very badly by this case. Let's see. You don't mean she's learned who Elise Duxnum really was? Yes. I went to the medical office and talked with her. Man, that's gotta fucking suck. Your dead sister and your cousin whose mother is now fucking in jail for trying to kill you, amongst other things, is telling you, oh, by the way, mind you, remember, this is her dead sister telling her this, your mom's dead. I told her everything I knew. But why? Maya's stronger than you think. I knew she could take it, all of it. What do you mean by that? I want you to figure that answer out by yourself. The trial is about to restart. The real killer, do you know who it is yet? Iris wouldn't tell me who called her, but still, I think that just maybe I know who it was. That night, the victim was killed in the garden of the inner temple, and the criminal wasn't just there by accident, which means the killer knew of Dahlia's plan from the very beginning. And one more thing, the victim was moved to the Hazakura temple side of the pendulum. In other words, the criminal couldn't cross the bridge. There's someone, when we get to there, I'll explain something that you won't know at this point unless you were at the previous case. That means they were stuck on the inner temple side for almost an entire day. Exactly. So the culprit was someone that wasn't in Hazakura temple the following day. That's as much help as I can give you. The rest of the battle is yours to win or lose. Okay, I've got it. Thank you, Mia. Finally, it's almost time to bring this case to an end. What exactly did Maya see anyway? And who was it that actually killed Misty Faye? Whoever it was, I have to prove it. Me, all by myself. I'll give you one hint. The first day of the case, the first trial, was Edgeworth against Franziska von Kammer, with the defendant being Iris. That's my one hint. And then after that, we went to the second day, and now the case is Wright and Got It and Iris. Now then, before we proceed any further, I'm going to announce the results of the test we had performed earlier. The test? Yes, test on the bloody dagger that was found stuck in the pine tree. Oh yeah, that. That's the weapon that Maya Fey used when she fought with the victim. What are the results? Was it the victim's blood? Due to the contents, a full test was impossible. However, there's one thing we can say with certainty. The blood that was on this dagger was not the victim's blood. That is all. Now then, let's restart this trial. If it wasn't Misty's blood on the dagger, then whose was it? I'm sure both the defense and the prosecution knows this, but this trial is rarely closed. Both sides will need to show some firm evidence with their claims. I understand, Your Honor. What I've heard, the witness is dangerously weak, physically speaking, so let's finish this quickly. Agreed. It's our final witness. Witness, please tell us your name and profession. Maya Fey. My profession is, I'm the assistant manager at Wright & Co. Law Offices. She doesn't say spirit medium. According to the magazine I have here, you're a spirit medium of the Korean channeling technique. I'm frightened. The Fey clan, I don't want any more to do with it. The pain of the Fey bloodline causes must be unbearable. Yeah, honestly, that clan has been nothing but trouble. Well, it's helped us out in cases, but their backstory has been, yeah. Now then, Miss Fey. When the event occurred, you were in the garden of the inner temple. And you witnessed the moment of Lee Stuxenham's murder. Is this correct? I didn't see any... Straighten up this instant, young lady. Huh? Pick your head up and speak clearly. There's always time for crying later. But your mother was killed right in front of your eyes. There's nothing you can do to change that fact. Okay, but there's something you can do. You can finish this. You've been watching the whole thing, right? You've seen the witnesses come out and you've seen us squeeze the truth out of them. Now it's your turn. Let's hear your testimony. On the night of the crime, what exactly did you see happen? Sweetie, you were a victim as well. She needs a vacay after this. To put it lightly. I was passing through the garden on the way out to spare Pepper when it happened. Suddenly, someone struck me over the head. I stumbled and ended up against the stone lantern. I think I screamed, "Help me!" Then something warm splashed over me. That's when I lost consciousness. Oh boy! Alright. Struck on the head. Spin the staff. Maya, the person who hit you. It was Dahlia Hawthorne, wasn't it? I'm sorry, Nick. It's just I couldn't see. I don't know who it was. Maya, think hard. Sorry, Nick. I really couldn't. Ha. Can't say it was especially a good night for young ladies to be walking around alone. It seems I will not be hard to determine the criminal through testimony alone. Very well, Mr. Wright. Please begin your cross-examination. I wonder why she doesn't look well. Must be mostly distressed. Who else was on the inner temple side that night? Well, Sister Bikini, of course. But I remember her saying that Iris would be coming later as well. On the day after the incident, Ezra went Bikini at the Hazakura Temple, which means she couldn't be the criminal, Mary. It's not Sister Bikini. So then, did Iris actually come later like she said? Well, let me think. No, I'm sure I didn't see her. She must have come while I was preparing for the training. Someone struck me over the head. Who did it? Who hit you? Didn't see who it was, hit from behind. You see the person, but after that, your attacker was in front of you. How could you not see who it was? Oh! Let me think for a sec. I'm sorry, I just can't remember. Press her harder. Come on, Maya, this isn't making sense. Why didn't you see this person? Well, let me think. It was oh yeah, that's right. It was dark, that's it. It was dark? It's not good to have too much light around when someone is undergoing spiritual training. But to think of it, there was earlier testimony that fit that as well. So it was dark in the garden on the scene of the crime. But why didn't she see the attacker? Well, maybe she was trying to hide something, but I guess not. This is my testimony thus far. The identity of the attacker was most likely the spirit that was channeled by at least Stuxenham Dahlia Hawthorne. Very well, please continue with your testimony. What happened after you were struck on the head? I stumbled and ended up against the stone lantern. What happened afterwards? My attacker was in front of me, blocking off my mistake, I think. You think? After getting hit like that, I was in a state of panic. There were only two things rolling around in my mind at that time. So the two things rolling around in your mind? My name is Maya Fey. 1 + 1 = 2. You see, for some crazy reason, I was afraid I was going to lose my memory. I know it was odd, considering my life was in danger, but that's how it was. That, you know, yeah, that's not at all. Your actions are understandable given the circumstances. What did you do then? The guy screamed, "Help me." You think you screamed, but you're not sure? Listen, I was completely wrecked. I was dark and I couldn't see my attacker. Was it a man, a woman, an adult, a child? I had no idea. I was scared out of my wits. Believe me, my dear, I was certain I would have soared my robes. But I thought this person might attack me, so I was pretty sure I screamed. I thought that was my last hope. What do I do? Wait a minute. What's this my last hope stuff? What? What do you mean by your last hope? No. That's what you said. You said my last hope. Huh? What? I said what? Look, you were facing an attacker that you couldn't see and you screamed, right? You screamed, "Help me." Yeah. We testified that you screamed because you thought it was your last hope. Oh, that's like, what do you call it when that happens? Oh, yeah. Oh, that's right. I remember now. I was facing my attacker, but that's not who I was screaming at. What did you just say? Yeah, that's right. It was a person behind my attacker that I was yelling at. That's who I was screaming to for help. Ah! What is it now? I messed up. I didn't mean to let that slip out. Huh? Witness, are you absolutely sure of what you're saying? Behind the attacker, there was another person? I meant to keep that part a secret. What have I done? Huh. It takes a ton of pressure to make a diamond. That's what I always say. A ton of pressure. You're in a court of law here. You can't make things up or try to hide things in this chamber. Witness, the information you just presented is vital to this case. I want you to add it to your testimony. I can see a man behind my attacker by the light of the stone garden. A man? Who was this man? Well, you see, I couldn't see. You couldn't see? Caesar used this excuse twice now. Well, lantern light isn't very bright. Lantern light, you say. There's a great big stone lantern in the garden. They always light it with an acolyte when it's there for training. Hey, you know what they say? Under the lantern, darkness remains? So I can see the person that was further away, but not my attacker who was closer. Plus, there weren't any other light sources in the garden at the time. And something warm splashed over me. It was probably blood. I was stabbed in the back by the killer. At that moment, I was paralyzed with fear. There in the snow, I'm sure blood got on everything around me. I lost consciousness. I don't remember. How were you saved? You don't remember that? No, I haven't got any idea. What happened at all? That's too bad. I can tell when she's trying to hide something how she acts. So right now, she's trying to hide something. Okay. Oh, she would know it's a stone lantern even from its dark because she would have felt it and be like, "Oh, that's the stone lantern." Wait. There we go. Same evidence, wrong statement. So there was a man standing behind your attacker? Yeah. That man, he's the killer. He stabbed her from behind. He's the one who killed Elise Dixonum, otherwise known as Misty Faye, your mother. The killer? Maya, you know who killed your mother, don't you? What is the meaning of this, Mr. Wright? To be frank, Your Honor, I think she is in shock and quite confused. That's why she hasn't noticed a huge problem with her testimony. Huh? What do you mean? What problem? Maya. On the night of the crime, that stone lantern was out of commission. Huh? What? I think it's true. There was no light anywhere in the garden that night. No. In the perfect pureness of milk to the perfect clear darkness of coffee stir. As the state of the witness's mind right now, a cup of cafe al lot. think I said that wrong. Cafe au lait. Ooh, stretch. Mr. Tright's words are the milk and you are the spoon, Your Honor. I'm the spoon? I'm no spoony bird, I'll have you know. You must have noticed it too, Wright. This witness's mental state is highly unstable right now. It's not hard to understand why she would make a little mistake like that. Sorry, but that's not going to cut it. What did you say? If there were truly no light in the garden, then there was a fatal contradiction in the witness's last bit of testimony. Nick, may I recall the witness's statement about her attacker? She said that she didn't know if it was a man or woman, or adult or a child. And yet, the witness could describe a person that was standing behind her attacker, and she quite clearly described him as a man. In other words, that would have mean that Maya actually saw a mystery person, despite it being so dark that she couldn't see the face of her own attacker. How could that be possible? Order. What in the world does this all mean, Mr. Wright? You're saying that Miss Faye saw the real killer under pitch black conditions?
Objection.
Right, do you have any idea what you're proposing? How could she have seen in the dark? There's no other light source at the scene. There are some things that you can only see in the dark, Mr. Goddard. Maya, you did see who the killer was in that dark, and now you're trying to cover for him. From the man that killed her mother, there's only one conclusion I can draw from this. You know who this man is. He's like, I don't know anything. Please, I'm begging you. Ha. You talk a good game, Trite. Let's see if you can walk the walk. It was pitch black, so what could the witness see? I'm calling you bluff. No, Nick, don't. Please stop. Maya's dead set on protecting this guy, the man who murdered Maya's long-lost mother. But I can't let him get away with it. I'm a lawyer, the officer of the court. I'm here to find the truth. All right, Mr. Wright, let's show us what you've got. Who is this person that you saw, Miss Faye saw in the darkness? Remember a previous case? Remember there was a previous case and there was a blackout? And we were like, oh shit, there's a blackout. And only one person that we were able to see in the dark? Because it was pitch black, Miss Faye was able to recognize the killer easily. I'm sure the court would like to see for itself how is it possible yet. What? But how do you propose to show us something like that? It's easy, we just need to recreate the conditions of that night. Conditions? Your Honor, defense officially requests that all lights in the courtroom be turned off. That was a nice bit of deduction. Right. Well, everyone, this is the man Maya saw on the night of her murder. Order. Prosecutor got it. What is the meaning of this? So here's one thing you need to understand that you may have missed from the previous session. We got across the bridge after the bridge had gotten fixed. When we were over there, Goddard showed up and it was like, oh hey, yeah, it took you so long. You know, and we're like, Goddard, you're here. You know, first off, second off, Goddard supposedly called out sick for the first trial, which was Edgeworth versus Francisco Francama. So Edgeworth had to get Francisco Francama to come in to have a prosecutor to go up against. Because he didn't know that once it got it, but Goddard was also gone. Where was Goddard during that time? So you must be shocked to hear yourself be accused of such a thing. Why aren't you denying it? Your Honor, you're asking the wrong person. What do you mean by that? If you got a question, ask the witness. That's one of my rules. Well, Maya, how about it? What you saw that night? Was it 3 glowing red lights? Well, witness, answer the question. You're wrong. I never saw that. Maya, I thought the person that stabbed my mother was a man for a totally different reason. What? Witness, what the heck was it? Stop your chattering, Your Honor. It's worth asking. Ask the witness. That's one of my rules. All right. That's true. Technically, she's the one on the stand right now. Well then, let's continue with the testimony. Please tell us how you knew the killer was a man. Anyways, up until after I woke up, but when I came to, I was just laying there on the training hall floor. By the time I got back to the garden, the place had totally changed. The torches were lit and the body was gone. And all the snow had been on the lantern had been cleaned up too. Since the person did all that work alone, I just assumed it was a man. So it was after the crime took place that the witness came to think the killer was a man. Yes, that's right. I'm sorry, Your Honor. I apologize. As Mr. Goddard said, you're extremely exhausted. It's only natural that you would be a little confused. Also, if you consider the situation you described, it doesn't seem too much of a stretch to assume the culprit was a man. I'm a little sexist, but whatever. Mr. Wright, proceed with your cross-examination. All right, we're pressing your ass. So, you lost consciousness when you were in the garden, is that right? Yes, I think. I think it happened when the victim was stabbed. So the person that carried you to the inner temple could have only been the killer. That's what I think too. So the killer carried Maya to the inner temple. What I said earlier, it's like how... There's one thing you have to think of the fact is that when she was unconscious in one location but woke up in another location. By the time I got back to the garden, the place had totally changed. Naturally, the killer must have done it, right? Yes, I think so. But why would the killer tamper with the crime scene like that? There must have been something the killer desperately wanted to hide. You don't know? So I'll come back to that later. The torches were lit? That's true. The one thing that bothers me. Why did the killer go to the effort of moving the body? I was on snow on the stone lantern would have been cleaned up too. Killer cleaned up the snow. The snow was removed in the unnatural looking rectangle shape around the lantern. Too heavy for you to use. Well, there's one thing I could think of. Didn't you say that a lot of the victim's blood sprayed onto the snow? They collapsed and ended up being splattered. In other words, the killer's purpose was to hide the bloody snow. I think that's the most reasonable explanation. However, there's one thing that's bothering me. If the killer had just wanted to hide the body of snow with the blood on it, there's no need to remove that amount. It's true. Could have scooped up just the snow that was stained with blood. And so there's some mysteries behind this issue. So you're saying you never saw the killer, right? But earlier you said you clearly stated that you saw a man behind your attacker. Never knew that I was the only one in the temple that night. Oh, I skipped forward a little too further. If the sister bikini had come back and looked at the garden, she may have thought that you had done it. No, she definitely would have thought so. And now you're saying the way the killer cleaned up the scene to make sure nothing had happened? Yes, I'm sure of it. Very well, that's an important piece of evidence. I want you to add it to your testimony. I think I skipped forward because it said to go back to that. I wasn't sure how much of that was going to be new and old. I went too fast. My bad. No. The body of Elise Dixon was carried all the way to Hazakura Temple's courtyard. Then at the garden, the real scene of the crime, the snow that we suspect was covered in blood was scooped up and removed. It's reasonable to believe all this was done in an attempt to hide the true crime scene. However, there's one matter that seems somewhat odd. Oh, and what would that be? You must have figured it by now, Mr. Goddard. The message written on blood on the lantern. It was written very clearly on the white stone lantern, Maya. If the killer was so motivated to protect Maya from suspicion, then why didn't they wipe the writing off the lantern? But right, isn't the fact that the killer was trying to cover up the crime scene? Indeed, but doesn't it make much sense to remove the body and remove the bloody snow, and then not wipe off the most incriminating thing of all, the bloody writing? If that's the case, do you have an explanation for the killer's mysterious behavior? Why would this killer move the body or remove all that snow, but then leave the bloody writing on the lantern? Or maybe it was the fact that the killer left the writing on the lantern. Must be a reason for it. Well then, Mr. Wright, let's hear your opinion. Why did the killer leave the message on the... The killer didn't notice it. Prosecutor Goddard, early in the trial, you gave me some good advice. Once you eliminate the impossible, whatever remains must be the truth. Maybe you're not as dumb as I thought. The real killer wanted to disguise the fact that a crime had occurred. If that's the case, they wouldn't have left the bloody writing on the stone lantern on purpose. Therefore, it must mean that they didn't notice it. But that doesn't mean the torches were all lit and everything. There's no way any normal person would miss something as glaring as that. You're right. There is no way any normal person would. What are you trying to say, Mr. Wright? There's only one person involved in this incident who could have missed seeing the bloody writing altogether. And who would that be? Who was that person who failed to see the bloody writing? My God, come on guys, catch up. Mr. Goddard. Is what you said yesterday. My eyesight is pretty messed up. Even with these huge goggles on my head, I still can't see everything. Can't see everything. Is that correct, Mr. Goddard? This lantern was submitted as evidence today. I'd like the court to think back to the moment it was first presented. This lantern, there's something written on it. What the? It's written in blood. Nonsense. This lantern, it's clean as a whistle. Mr. Goddard, just admit it. There are certain colors you can't see, correct? You can't see red on a white background, can you? That's right, we went through this once before, during the poisoning case of Trespien, which is why I talked about earlier. This is the apron the delightful Miss Bride was wearing at the time and somehow spilled coffee on. There's something still bothering me, Mr. Goddard. Why have you not explained the blood stain to the court? Blood stain? What blood stain would that be? Don't play games, prosecutor. The blood-colored stain that smeared all over the apron. That's ridiculous. No one told me anything about a blood stain. You could see the coffee with the white apron, but you couldn't see the ketchup because it was red. Huh. It's strange. In a black and white photo, these letters would have appeared black to me. I wonder, why am I the only one that can't see them? Then, Mr. Goddard, are you admitting it? Are you admitting that you can't see the red writing on the lantern? Hey, Gramps, didn't you know? That's the reason I don't drink red tea. Yeah. I think it's also because of the fact that you're coffee level. I wasn't sure what to now, but I just believe it. That Prosecutor Goddard is the murderer, but there's no going back now. I finally figured out the truth. Mr. Goddard, the defense at this time formally accuses you. You are the murderer of Elise Duxenham, also known as Miss Misty Fey. It's hard to believe this may be true, however, once again, Mr. Wright has brought up a disquieting fact about you. Ha! Just make sure you don't fill out the indictment in Reddit, Gramps. Come on, how does a little graffiti make me into the killer? Besides, it's not like it's my name that's written there. I'm certain that the killer wasn't able to see the color red. This is rich. Do go on, right? The answer is right there at the crime scene. In the snow. In the snow? How so? Well, for example, why did the killer move all that snow? Your Honor, you said it was self. If you wanted to hide the bloody snow, why not just take out just that area? Why did he take that area? Could it be? Yes, the killer couldn't see the red blood that had seeped into the snow, and so he had to remove all the snow. Couldn't be sure of where the blood had landed, so he removed the whole area. Is it more likely that the killer couldn't see the blood because it was dark? Not a chance. The torches were all lit. He would have been able to see just fine. But why? Why is he the murderer? Well, let's put it this way. This guy looks very similar to another guy that we've seen in a flashback case, who may or may not have been in a romantic relationship with another person whose sister may or may not also be on the witness stand right now. Wait just a minute. Maya, what is it, witness? Mr. Goddard isn't the killer. After all, he didn't even come to the inner temple until 2 days after the murder took place. He didn't show up until after that old bridge got fixed up. Objection. Maya, you can't testify to something like that. Why? What do you mean that? After the murder happened, you didn't even exist. She didn't? I'm afraid I don't follow. You see now, old man, we established this just a little while ago. After the murder, this witness was unconscious for a long time because she was channeling Dahlia Hawthorne. Oh, that's right. Please, Your Honor, let me add to my testimony. Nick, please listen to me. Do you plan to cover for Goddard no matter what the cost? If that's the case, then I've got no choice. Your Honor, let's hear her testimony. If it means we're going to hear the whole truth, I say we should not silence her. Nicely done, Wright. Very well. Let's hear the witness's testimony. Please tell us what happened at the inner temple after the murder. Yes, sir. After I woke up, I began channeling, and my spirit left me, as it were. But little Pearlie was there in the inner temple, too. Oh, that's right, Pearls. Pearlie was also struck on the inner temple side that night. Next morning, she looked around but couldn't find anyone. The next day, when the bridge was finally fixed, she was in the spirit prep room. That's when Mr. Goddard arrived in the inner temple for the first time. He found Pearlie first and cheered her right up. Who is this Pearlie? That's my little cousin, Pearl Fay. So when did you hear about this? Oh, just a while ago when I was in the medical office. I'm terribly sorry, but what you said from someone else is simply not as admissible as testimony. What? Come on. Pearlie would never tell a lie. She was a way more honest person than I'll ever be. You always know the best thing to say when you're under oath. The prosecution has no objection. We believe the witness. Mr. Goddard, let's just move on to the cross-examination if the defense has no objections. Let's get this cross-examination started. It's a very honest one thing of, Pearl talk to you? You sure? Okay. So where do you think Pearl slept that night? In the spare prep room next to the training hall, I guess. There's a rule that you can't enter the training hall during the Acolyte's training. But even so, why did she go to the inner temple in the first place? The Pearls became very worried about Maya. She knew that the spiritual training I was about to undergo was very intense. Pearls was supposed to channel Dahlia Hawthorne, but she couldn't do it. That's why she headed to the inner temple. However, Dahlia was already there, possessing the body of Elise Duxenham. Next morning, she looked around, but she couldn't find anyone. She searched the entire inner temple side end to end. Well, you see, Pearlie gets pretty scared when she's alone, and there weren't that many places to look. There's that she even went back and forth several times. The inner temple side has two structures, the training hall and the spare prep room. And there's also a storage stack, I think. That's about it. There's a storage stack too? Pearls was looking for other people, right? Why would she have really examined her storage stack all that carefully? Or if it was me, that would have been the first place I would investigate. It's possible that someone may have been hiding in the storage stack. Next day, when the bridge was finally fixed, she was in the spare prep room. She didn't hear the sound of them working on the bridge? What do you mean? I was just wondering why she would stay in the prep room. If it was me, I'd at least go out and wait at the foot of the bridge. Oh, well, Pearlie said she was sleeping at the time. She said she was so scared during the night that she couldn't sleep well and woke up a bunch of times. Oh, poor girl. All alone like that. Well, at least she had at least one friend in the sacred cabin. Dolly Hawthorne, who was busy battling with the trick lock. She couldn't let anyone see her, so she wouldn't have shown herself to Pearls. What happened after the bridge was finally fixed? That's when Mr. Goddard arrived at the Inner Temple for the first time. So it was your first time at the Inner Temple side, Mr. Goddard. That's funny. Am I imagining things, or did the defense ask me a question? Mr. Wright, please save your questions for the witness. What you heard from someone else is simply not admissible as testimony. Those are your words, Your Honor. Touché, Mr. Wright. Oh well. What do you have to say, Mr. Goddard? That's clever. Basically being like, I can't just take her word for that, or I have to go to him from that. Hot nights and even hotter coffee. That's what I always say. If it hadn't been for this case, I would never have visited there. A freezing cold temple and mountains? I think I'll pass. Never finished either of them before? In any case, I have to find a crack in Goddard's armor. I'll cross-examine Maya, that is. Very well. After fixing the bridge, the police came over to the Inner Temple side, yes? If we first cheered her right up. He cheered her up? That's what Pearlie said. She said he was a very nice older gentleman. Thank you for looking after my cousin, Mr. Goddard. He's thinking nothing more than a coffee addict. He is a coffee addict. He needs help. Cut it out. You're making me blush. This guy is really beginning to get on my nerves in more ways than one. The truth is, there aren't that many places to look on the Inner Temple side. The policemen are all busy going over the garden with fine-toothed combs. So I decided to carry out an investigation. My own way. Goddard style. That's not wrong either. Yeah, I guess you can be two things at once. I'm the same way. I like to hand down verdicts in my own way, judge style. Maybe I should start asking some questions, Phoenix style. Said it was conducting an investigation of your own. Did you find anything? My investigation went about as well as yours, Trite. After all, I didn't mistake the bloody writing on the lantern. The only odd thing discovered was the beauty in the training hall. Misty Faye, naturally. Clad in her stunning Japanese garb, surrounded by the hue and aroma of Western tastes. You have work in the morning, you must sleep. Night, night. You can catch the rest in the VOD. It's going to be over in, I'm guessing, like 10 to 15 minutes. Western tastes. Could he find a stranger way to describe gravity? Gravy? Whenever you headed for the prep room? Wait a second. What did Goddard say now? He could have found his proverbial weak spot. There's only one thing of importance there. Where was Goddard when running the place? He must have already been in the temple. Okay. All right, here we go. What am I doing here? We'll do, okay. Fuck, gone too far. You cheer her up. Okay, so go back here. How do you cheer Pearls up? First thing that's been covered, the bridge had been burned down and she was huddled in a tiny shack with no heat, even though she must have been a truly terrifying night out there. She asked about you before she said a thing about herself. You want anyone in the temple side, but I couldn't find him in that, so I gave him my last cup. With milk and sugar to hide the bitterness of harsh truth. That's a side story. If I'm matching the ask question. Oh. It's the same before. Yes. Okay, now we're good. It's just like I thought. Goddard is lying. If his first visit to Hidden Temple was with that as an incident, should have known about that piece of evidence. There we go. That's a weird way to put it, though. Mr. Goddard, the first time you crossed the Dusky Bridge and went to Inner Temple was long before the murder took place. Why do you say that? Because he just made one fatal slip-up. The hanging skull in the training hall. The hanging skull? But Mr. Goddard is right. That scroll shows a picture of my mother. Maya, I know you know who it is, but there's something you didn't know. By the time the bridge had been repaired 2 days after murder, the hanging skull in the training hall looked like this. What's this wonderfully delicious smell? Morning after the crime, someone covered it with gravy. Gravy? But why gravy, Nick? Because gravy was much more than a condiment to the culprit. Well, Mr. Goddard, if you really hadn't seen the hanging skull until after the murder, you wouldn't have had any way of knowing it was Misty Faye. Wait a minute, Nick. Yes? Take another look at the hanging skull. Look, at the top. There's a crest there. Ah, that. It's the mark of the crest. Exactly. If you know that mark, then you can guess that it was a picture of Misty Faye on there. True, but Mr. Goddard described it was underneath like this, clad in her stunning Japanese garb surrounded by the hue and aroma of Western tastes. Yes, it's possible that he knew what the crest meant. However, he couldn't have known that she was wearing Japanese clothing. Mr. Goddard, on the day of the murder, you were hiding at the Inner Temple long before the crime took place. Can I ask you just one thing, Wright? What is it? This whole theory of yours. It all rests on one certain assumption. That I knew beforehand that a crime was going to be committed. That's right. Otherwise, there's no reason for him to sneak in onto the crime scene. Of course, Mr. Goddard knew about the plan. Huh? What did you say? This crime was actually planned over a year ago. Morgan Faye authored the plan for her daughter's future, and those instructions were hidden somewhere in the Faye Manor for a year. However, by the time Little Pearls found those instructions, they had already been unsealed. Unsealed? Yes. The killer had read these instructions long before Pearls ever found them. That's how I knew the crime was to take place at the Inner Temple. Technically speaking, it could have been also unsealed by Misty Faye somehow sneaking in and seeing it, but you still insist this crafty killer is me? You bet I do. I'm gonna suck and save, because I am scared. But you just said that the instructions were hidden. That's right. Mr. Goddard couldn't have known where the instructions were hidden. If he really wanted to know, he had one great chance to find out. And when was that? During a visit. A visit? Morgan Faye told her daughter, Pearl, about where the instructions were hidden. During one of her visits to the detention center. That had been the only time for someone to have learned where they were hidden. Eavesdropping on a visit at the detention center. Yes, it would have been arranged if you were someone with easy access in and out of there. Like, for example, a prosecutor such as Mr. Goddard. You went to fire again. This murder could not have been carried out without prior knowledge. And you're the only one that could have acquired this information before murder. Humans are afraid of the dark, and yet, at the same time, we're fascinated and bewitched by it. Maybe that's why humans drink the darkness that is coffee. Sorry for asking, but what does that mean? It means that there's a reason for everything. According to your theory, the killer, in this case, eavesdropped on a conversation during a jail visit where he had learned of a hidden plan for a crime. After discovering the plans, he hid in the inner temple and waited for the crime to occur. Then he ultimately took a person's life. And he did all of that just to protect this witness? That's right. If you're accusing me of this crime, I have to ask you, why would I do this? This girl is nothing but a stranger to me. I've got no reason to go through that kind of trouble to protect her. I am what I see. I'm certainly not the type to rescue the damsel in distress. The killer's behavior is certainly extreme, for lack of a better word. Even considering that the killer wanted to protect this witness's life, his behavior is still a little too unnatural. However, you had a good reason, didn't you, Mr. Goddard? An unshakable reason that forced you to protect this witness at all costs. I knew it. You figured it out, haven't you, Nick? Maya, I guess you were doing your best to cover for Goddard for the same reason, huh? Okay, Wright, I'm all ears. Let's hear it. It's very simple. Maya Fey is a lot more than just a stranger to you. But what's this? There's one person who lies in the very center of this whole story. One person that ties the Maya Fey together inextricably. There's a very good reason why Maya Fey's life is so precious to you. After all, she is Mia Fey's only sister. Mia Fey. You once worked alongside her. That was when you were a defense attorney. Wait a second here. Mr. Garner is a defense attorney? With your honest, piercing intellect, you must have figured it out by now. The real name of this man who calls himself Goddard. His real name is Diego Armando. Isn't that right? The last time someone called me by that name was over 6 years ago. Diego Armando. That name rings a bell. It should, Your Honor. All of this is related to a single case. A case in which a convict named Terry Falls killed himself. Mia Fey's first time in court, a tragic outcome left a deep wound in her heart. She knew that it was behind it all was a heartless, scheming demoness in disguise. But in the end, Mia couldn't tear off that disguise. However, there was one man who reached out to help her. Diego Armando, a senior defense attorney at the office where Mia worked. It's my fault. It's my fault that Mr. Falls himself killed himself. Mia, you can't cry yet. The only time a lawyer can cry is when it's all over. I was moved by her, the way she put all her faith in her clients, that pure, sweet heart of hers. That's why I could never forgive Dahlia Hawthorne. Mia and I thoroughly investigated that fake kidnapping incident. The one fateful day, Dahlia wanted to meet with me. It had been 6 months since the trial. We met in the courthouse cafeteria. I just remembered, 6 years ago, right in this courthouse, you were poisoned. Even I didn't see it coming. Dahlia Hawthorne slipped some poison into my coffee. The newspapers at the time called it a murder, but very little information about the case was released to the press. But you weren't dead at all. No official reports ever actually claimed it was murder. It was just in a deep, deep coma. I see. My body shut down and my life became nothing but a long, deep sleep. The woman's poison did a real number on my central nervous system. I lost my sight and all of my hair turned white due to the damage it caused. Apparently it was a miracle that I ever regained consciousness. 5 years had passed since I drank that poisoned brew. Then one morning, my eyes flew open from the smell of a doctor's cup of coffee. 5 years? You were asleep for 5 years? And the worst possible news was waiting for me. Mia Fey was dead. From the very moment I opened my eyes, I had already lost everything I thought I had. The woman I loved had been murdered, and the woman I loathed had been sentenced to death. The woman you loathed, the woman who had spiked my scalding hot coffee, Dahlia Hawthorne. Ha, good old Mia. She didn't let me down. She got her revenge before she checked out. In the end, there wasn't anyone waiting for me when I woke up. That's so sad. For someone like me, for someone who had slept away their best days, there were only 2 reasons left to live. And it was for those 2 reasons I decided to become a prosecutor. If I may ask, what were your 2 reasons to live? The first was you, Trite. Huh? Me? If I hadn't drank that stupid poison, Mia Fey would never have died, much less the way she did. You were the only one who knew who was there to protect her, but you let her die. It was all your fault. It wasn't like that. I wanted to see for myself what kind of man you really were. That's why you became a prosecutor. My other reason for living, she goes by the name of Maya Fey. Huh? You mean me? You were the only way I can make up for the sin of not saving Mia. 1 year ago, when the Crane Village incident was resolved, it was obvious that Morgan Fey was planning something. Whatever her evil plan was, I was determined to stop it. My role as a prosecutor put me in the perfect position to do something about her. That's how you overheard Pearl's visit to Morgan at the Defense Center. I knew that the time was drawing near. Since I knew the plan, I thought I could foil it. My goal was to outwit the plan. I thought if I could do that, I could keep that girl from being caught up in it. That makes sense. If Pearl had known that the actual purpose of the plan was to kill Maya, she never would have helped out. Finally, the day of the plan was drawing near. I contacted both of my accomplices. Accomplices? Iris of Azakura Temple and Misty Fey. I especially needed the help of Iris. She was to take the fall in my backup plan in case we couldn't control Pearl Fey. But, how did you contact my mother? She had been missing for almost 20 years. Officially, yes. What? What do you mean officially? You've heard about it, haven't you? About the strong ties between the main family and the government? Now when you mention it, Bikini did say something to that effect. Said that the Master of the Crane had great authority. Even without her official position, Misty Face still wielded great influence. The police have been keeping an eye on her movements all this time. That's how I was able to contact her. Again, because of my position as a prosecutor. So my mother was cooperating with you? If Mia knew that, she could have gotten in contact with her mother ages ago. That fucking sucks. Don't ever forget. No matter how far away from you she was, she never stopped thinking about you. She was always... That's why I knew she would do anything to protect you. If you want to know how strong her resolve to protect you was, look at her staff. Her staff? The one with the sword in it? The day of the plan was to be carried out arrived soon enough. We met for the first time at Hazakura Temple. That's when your mother showed me her special staff. I realized it then just how far she was willing to go. She was ready to use that sword to protect you from Morgan Frey if necessary. Yes, even if it meant paying the ultimate price. Mother. Talk. That night, the night of the crime, there was just one way to stop Morgan's evil plan. You mean Pearl's, didn't you? We had to make sure she didn't channel Dahlia Hawthorne. Well, Pearl, what are you going to do tonight? Well, if you like, we can come to my room. Perhaps we can read some books together. We thought we could prevent her from playing her part in Morgan's plan, but she never showed up. She was worried and followed me to the inner temple. That was the thing we were most afraid of, and that's why Miss Fey had to do the channeling herself. She channeled Dahlia Hawthorne into her own body. What? What do you mean? If she channeled the spirit first, then Pearl wouldn't be able to do it herself. As Master Crane, Misty Fey's power was supreme, so that's how it went down. She channeled Dahlia Hawthorne so that Pearl wouldn't be able to. Is this true? My role in the plan was to make sure no one was going to hurt Maya Fey. That's why I hid myself in the inner temple, just in case you needed to be saved from Dahlia Hawthorne. Got it. Anyway, that's all I'm going to admit to, right? There's no doubt about it, you're a great defense attorney, but you're going to have to do the rest yourself. The background leading up to this incident had been laid bare. There's just one question remaining, Mr. Wright. Who killed the victim? There are only 2 possible suspects right now. Maya Fey, and I'm sad to say, you, Mr. Goddard. Well, Wright, if you're the real deal, then finish this thing once and for all. Show us beyond a shadow of doubt that you can finish this on your own. Please don't. Maya, I heard the whole thing from my sister at the medical office. That's why I have to protect Mr. Goddard. I can't do it. I can't testify against him. After all, he's the man who put his life on the line to protect Mia and me too. Maya, I know that. Nick. But even so, doesn't absolve him of his crime. Please, Maya, testify. Miss Faye, your testimony, please. This is the final testimony. Don't bother trying to hide anything, because I'll know. I want to hear the truth from your own lips. I understand. I'm sure you're right. I'm ready now, Nick. But my voice is going to be shot after this. All right, young lady, tell us about the moments before you lost consciousness. What exactly happened at the time of the murder? Just before it happened, I think I saw some red lights, 3 of them. I thought to ask for help, but then I was splattered with blood. She wasn't dead though. She was struck back at the enemy behind her. Suddenly, the red lights went out and the whole area was dark. Just at that moment, there was a horrible scream. Right after that, Dahlia collapsed and I lost consciousness. Through these red lights, I thought you said you don't remember seeing them. I'm sorry. I thought I saw them, but then they suddenly all disappeared. Ha! Things break right, even the best of theories. Who was it that stabbed Misty Faye? Looks like you still can't prove it. Maya's telling the truth this time, I know it. The rest is up to me. Alright. Struck back? How do you know that? Well, you didn't say exactly, but I could tell by the sounds of the breathing and movement. Also the smell of blood. You have to witness some horror and any young lady should have ever in one life. So then, what did you do at that point? I couldn't move. I could just barely make out the sound moving, but I had no idea what to do. See the red lights you mentioned earlier? Yes, I think so, but... Well, lights went out and the light went dark. They went out? Yes. Suddenly I couldn't see them at all. What do you mean? Well, lights were coming from Goddard's mask and they went out right in the middle of the fight. Maybe the mask was damaged, or maybe it was knocked off. Maybe the batteries ran out, right? Maybe those little red pin. Okay. A horrible scream. I don't think so. I'm pretty sure it was a man's voice. That's gotta be it. There's a contradiction. I'm sorry to say this, but that interpretation would create an enormous contradiction. That makes sense. After all, my connections are almost certainly never correct. Remember the testimony before she came out? Before the killer out screamed, Maya said she had already been splattered by the victim's blood. In other words, the blade and the staff had already been plunged into the victim. Ah, is that right? She couldn't have struck back with a sword that was already stuck in her body. The weapon that caused the killer to out scream must have been something other than the staff. If you're so sure about that, then why don't you keep us waiting, Donut, right? There's one thing I can think of that could have been used as a weapon here. If Dorothy Hawthorne had already been stabbed in the back of the staff, what could she use to strike back at the killer? Naturally, the dagger the killer brought to the scene of the crime. That's right, I forgot about that. This dagger was found at the crime scene stuck onto a pine tree. Yes, the detective found it in the morning and brought it to me. Dahlia Hawthorne struck back at the killer with this. She managed to wound him as well. Just because she died like each scream doesn't mean he was wounded. For all we know, the blood on the dagger could have been from the victim. Have you forgotten that the blood has already been tested? As we learned it wasn't the victim's blood, it must be the killer's blood. The killer must have wounded somewhere on his body. She's saying the blood of this dagger belongs to the killer. Exactly. A DNA analysis of the blood will prove it beyond a shadow of a doubt. And yes, Mr. Goddard, it will prove it's your blood. Nice theory, Trite. Alright, cool. Ha. Let me ask you something, Trite. Let's say that it turned out that I was the killer. Do you really think I would have been stupid enough to leave evidence like that? Just think for a second. The dagger was found in the morning by a detective and brought to me. There was already blood on it, correct? But even so, I was the one that brought this dagger here to the courtroom. Well, if I really were the killer, I would have washed the blade off and then planted another person's blood on it. In any case, there's one thing I can guarantee, Trite. That blood, it doesn't belong to me. Not a chance. Oh, I know I probably shouldn't say this, but there's a big contradiction in Nick's explanation. Maya? This dagger, you said it wounded the killer. That's right. But, Mr. Goddard had really been cut with the dagger. His clothes would be bloody, would have a rip on them, right? Maya? Maybe just change his clothes? That'd solve the contradiction pretty easily. What are you talking about? Listen, but all. Remember back to the day of the murder. Everyone that was on the inner temple side got trapped there. That's right. And once the bridge was fixed and the police headed for the inner temple, Mr. Gart was already there waiting for them. He never had a chance to change his clothes. Well, maybe he brought a change of clothes with him. No one could have predicted the lightning strike that shut down the bridge, but we don't have brought a change of clothes. Well then, maybe the killer took off his clothes before they committed the murder. That way he wouldn't get any blood on them. That's impossible, Trite. You know how cold it gets up there at light at night. After a few minutes with no clothes on, you'd be frozen solid. That's all you got. I knew you weren't tough enough to finish this. Right now, if Mia Fey were here, she would have closed the book on this case already. Mia Fey were here. Come on now, Trite. Can you do it or not? How about it, Mr. Wright? You got accused Mr. Carter of being a killer, but can you prove it? Have you gotten one piece of evidence? The question isn't whether I can prove it or not. The fact is, I have to prove it. That's the only chance I have. I was taught that it's the one rules of being a lawyer. Saving now. Final save before like the end. I can prove it. I'm going to bring your magnificent vengeance to fruition just as you wanted. That's good. A fighter to the bitter end, right? It's my original song! It's my original song! Let's fucking go! So there's just one piece of evidence that can prove your point. Why don't we go for the unlimited penalty? Are you trying to pressure me, Mr. Goddard? Because it doesn't matter to me. I've got the one piece of evidence I need. This suspect's fingerprints on it, but not the murder weapon. As the sword set up inside, actually, I'm going to use it. Taken at night, crime photo, layer sketch, crystal sphere. What do I do at a time like this? It's simple. I gotta think outside the box and approach this from a different angle. Alright then, that's right, let's see what you got. There's only one thing that's demonstrated in the previous cross-examination. The killer was wounded, they were proven by the blood on the dagger. But it's possible for him to have hidden such a wound. Been cut by a dagger, there should have been a blood stain on his clothing. There's only one place where the killer could have hidden his wound. What did you say? Hidden? This is it. My last stand. I think about this from a different angle. I don't think about why there were no blood stains on his clothing. And think about how he hit the wound. It's the end of the line, the final stop. Right, let's see what you've got. Where's this location where you say the killer hit his wound? I need to know. Isn't that right, Trite? Oh! Oh! Yeah, that's right! What was that just now? Mia? It can't be. You're living on through him? Even as we speak, you are still hiding the wound. It's beneath your mask. During the fight, the red lights were given off by the killer suddenly disappeared. Seconds later, the killer let out a scream. That's right, your mask went flying off your face. Mr. Goddard, would you mind removing your mask? If you have a dagger wound under there somewhere, then I'd say this whole case is solved. Just now, I saw her spirit in you. I never liked you. 6 years ago, you helped the woman who put me to sleep by hiding her bottle of poison. And then, while I was sleeping, you let Mia die. But you didn't care. You just kept living your pathetic, happy-go-lucky life. You even had the nerve to follow her in her footsteps as a lawyer. I could never forgive you. That's what I thought. Mr. Goddard. But I was wrong about you. I knew it from the very beginning. The truth is, the only person I could never find it in my heart to forgive was me. Yourself? I was the one that failed to protect Mia. Me and no one else. I tried to divert my eyes from the truth, to escape from the harshness of reality. I just couldn't face Mia's death head on, so I ran. I hid behind a mask. I threw away my true name. I couldn't even deal with being a defense attorney anymore, so I quit. AKA you motherfucking rage quit. But you saved Mia. Yeah, that was my plan. Up until just now anyway. What do you mean? Are you listening, Mia? If I had really wanted to save you, then there's one person that I should have gone and talked to right away. Who would that have been? Are you talking about Nick? But I didn't do it. I tried to get the help of Iris and your mother, but I closed my eyes to the most important man involved. You know why? The real reason? No, why? I suppose I wasn't really interested in saving you at all. Huh? I think I was just trying to salvage what's left of my own broken soul. I was trying to make up for the fact that I couldn't save Mia. Nothing more. That's why I let you walk away into that situation that I knew was dangerous. Forgive me. You're wrong. You put your life on the line to save Mia. Was it really for Maya's sake? Even I'm not really sure. What do you mean by that? That night in the darkness of the garden, when I saw her silhouette, a part of me must have known the truth. The truth that it wasn't really Dahlia Hawthorne standing right there in front of me. It could have been Misty Faye or even that little girl. Yeah, you see. But have I still picked up the blade? It was like I was dreaming. I'm not sure exactly what is going on in my mind at that point. Was I really motivated by the pure desire to protect Maya Faye? Or was it something else? Was it my hatred for a woman who had stolen everything from me 6 years earlier? Could have been simply for a desire for revenge. And now, I don't know anything anymore. I did lose something that day, however. I finally realized that I was the arrogant one. I was just chasing an illusion, a fantasy, like tears in the rain. The stupid fantasy of defeating you in the courtroom. You were the one who made me realize my folly. You never ran away from Mia's death. Instead, you picked up where she left off as a true defender of the people. In that moment, I understood everything. Mr. Goddard. I think you already know this, but if you don't, my name is Diego Armando. Mr. Armando, I believe in you. I know you were trying to save me. Thanks. Your wound, it's bleeding. Ah, did you forget already? In my world, the color red doesn't exist. These must be my tears. Tears? Ever since I woke up from my coma, I think I've been waiting for this very moment. Mr. Armando! You do well to remember this, Maya. The only time a lawyer can cry is when it's all over. This time, it really is all over, isn't it? Defend it. Yes, Your Honor. Although you weren't directly involved in the murder, tampering with the body and the crime scene is a serious offense in itself. I understand, Your Honor. Mr. Armando explained that to me very carefully. I knew the risk and I willingly cooperated anyway. Very well. Before I hand down my verdict, is there anything you'd like to say? Well, there is one thing. I'd like to say something to Mr. Wright. I want to apologize to you. Apologize to me? For what? For the case 5 years ago, of course. I just remembered. Weren't you poisoned by your own lover? Not exactly, but yeah, something like that. Even now, 5 years later, I can hardly believe it. She was going to do it. She was planning to kill me. It's not all that surprising. The two of you hardly knew each other. Huh? What do you mean? You and my sister, you only met twice. Huh? We only met twice? The first time you met was on that fateful day. The day she poisoned Mr. Armando in the cafeteria of this very courthouse. The next time you met her was 8 months later. You met her again on the day that she stole your cold medicine. And Doug Swallow was killed. No way. It can't be true. I mean, during our whole relationship, we were... For those 8 months, the woman that you thought was Dahlia Hawthorne wasn't actually my sister. It wasn't Dahlia. I hope one day you can forgive me, Beanie. You mean... He's still in! He's still in! That's right. I lied to you for 8 months. But why? Why would you do such a thing? Ever since she gave you the bottle that day, my sister was trying to get it back as soon as she possibly could. Because of the police investigation and their surveillance, she couldn't move about freely. So that's why my sister, from the beginning, she was prepared for the worst. Prepared for the worst? She thought that you might somehow discover the truth. That's why she always was ready to deal with you at a moment's notice. You mean she was ready to kill me, don't you? Yeah, you mean she was ready to kill me, don't you? She already had so much to answer for, I didn't want any more sins on her soul. I begged her not to do it, and she agreed to give me a chance. And that's why you came to me? You came to get the bottle pendant back from me in her place? But I couldn't get you to give it back. I failed at something even as simple as that. 8 months passed, I still couldn't get it back from you. Finally, my sister couldn't wait any longer. She didn't consult me about her plans for you that day. It was the first time that had ever happened. That was a bit strange, wasn't it? Up until that day, you two were partners in crime and she would confer with you. I think she must have noticed. Notice what? My feelings for you. If I had found out that she was planning to kill you, I would have done whatever was necessary to stop her. Even if it meant her life or mine. Iris. After spending those 8 months by your side, my feelings toward you, they changed. I have something to say to you too. Yes? You really are the person I always thought you were. Even after Dolly Hawthorne was found guilty, I still believed in you. Thank you. Ain't that heartwarming? How many cups of darkness have I drank over the years? Even I don't know. I'll tell you though. Right now, this one here is the greatest cup I think I've ever had. Don't you think so, Phoenix Wright? Yeah, I think you're right. The purpose of this trial was to rule out the murder of the victim, at least Duxnam. And at some point, I expect you to be tried for your role as accomplice in this case. I understand, Your Honor. Very well. On the charge of murder, I hereby find the defendant not guilty. Court is now adjourned. Yay! Oof. This is all over. The way everything ended. Was justice really served? The man who risked his life to save Maya is being sent to prison by my own hand. Of course justice was served. Mia, I'm proud of you, Phoenix. Your defense was truly brilliant. But I couldn't save Mr. Armando, a man who cared so deeply for you. You're wrong, Phoenix. You did save Diego. You saved him in the only way possible. You mean with that verdict? I think one day you'll understand too. Phoenix, I want you to remember one thing. You were as good out there today as any defense attorney could ever hope to be. There's nothing more you could learn from me. But Mia, you've accomplished something I wasn't able to. Oh, you're a great deal. Thank you. Mia, I'm sure we'll meet again someday, Phoenix. It may take like thousands of fucking games, because I don't think this happens in the 6th game. I've handled lots of cases and seen a lot of things. Along this journey, I found myself asking just one question. What does it really mean to defend someone? I suppose today's case produced one possible answer. Nick! Hey Maya! This is just like my sis said. That night, when I channeled Mia to get her advice on what to do, this is what she wrote back in my notebook. Don't worry, Phoenix will save everyone in the end. Oh, that gloomy face. Can't you see? Me, sis. And I'm sure Iris too. Will you for everything you've ever done for us, Nick? Yeah, that's kind of fucked up. Youch! Francisca. Still a softy as always, Phoenix, right? And Edgeworth. Excellent work. When did you get back? Oh yeah, that's right. Edgeworth and Francisca have actually been helping me. Helping you? If these two hadn't been there on the first day of the trial, think the defense wouldn't have gotten anywhere. Wow. Well, where were you, Nick? Oh, he fell into a river and caught a nasty cold which forced him to sleep all day. Yes, he laid in bed shivering from his fever with Iris's hood pulled over his head. Oh, geez. Talk about embarrassing, Nick. You definitely need more training. Anyway, thank you, Mr. Edgeworth, and you too, Francisca. Don't suppose there's room for me in this group hug, is there? Larry! What's with the longer than usual face? I learned something when I was reborn. It means that Larry was never of any use to anyone, not even once. That's not true, right, Nick? What? You asking me? Well, Nick? What's true? I got placed in this world? Yeah, of course. I knew it. Everyone would be better off if I was gone for good. No. Oh yeah. These portraits you painted, they were really good. Isn't that right, Edgeworth? What? Me? Why are you making that face, huh, Edgy? Oh, well, yes, indeed. I certainly can't say that I lack resemblance. Do you really mean it? What about you, Fancy? Did I draw you well, too? Yeah. My beauty can't be possibly captured by a mere crayon. Give her the death glare. Nevertheless, I recognize the effort you put into it, and that's worth something. So then you do it like you promised? You're going to modify. Oh. Well, how about that? I guess painting portraits is the one thing I'm good at. The painting of Pearl was pretty damn good too, if you ask me. Huh? Now you mentioned, I haven't seen her around. Pearls? Normally she would have been beeline for Maya. I'll go look for her. Be right back. Hey, Pearly! Right, you seem to be unconsciously puzzled. I expect you're wondering how Maya is able to be so cheerful despite all that has happened. Yeah. To be honest, I can't understand it either. That's right. She lost her father fairly recently as well. I think I understand how she feels. That's right. He'd seen his. They both have seen their parents die in front of them. Maya is a much wiser person than she appears, and I think she realizes something. Now is exactly the time when she needs to be as strong as she can. What do you mean by now is exactly the time? Maya wasn't the only one who was badly wounded by this incident. In fact, there was someone who was hurt far more deeply than she. I believe it's for that person that Maya is trying her best not to cry. Someone who is hurt more deeply than Maya? Edgeworth, I think I'm starting to understand too. Ow! Then tell me, Phoenix Wright, who is Maya being strong for? Oh, Faye. The poor kid. After all, the reason she worked so hard to follow the instructions was because she loved and believed in her mother, Morgan. It's for the good of the Faye clan. I'm sure she believed it in every last word. She thought she was doing it for Maya. That's why she was so happy. It truly shows how devoted she is to Maya. They only have each other now. And Nick, but still. It's a cruel irony that it was her exuberance that led to this tragedy. Maya Faye's mother was killed and Maya herself was put into the deepest peril imaginable. And that's exactly why Maya is putting on a brave face. She's doing it for Pearl's sake, so she can see her smile again. Oh hey, so this is where you all were. Wow, looks like oh wow. Sorry about that, Scruffy. Whip doesn't have a mind of its own. What's up? This and that. Congratulations on your win. Let's go out. Okay, at dinner. Besides, this sort of kind of gone down by a teeny weeny bit, but it's alright. We had reservations at a first-class French restaurant today. Pretty good work, Scruffy. That whip was your reward. That's okay, whatever. The gumshoe? You said a first-class French restaurant. You don't mean Tres Bien, where else? Oh no. Come on, let's go, everyone. Can't keep Maggie waiting, pal. Hey, you, crybaby, you're invited too. Oh, forget about me. Her and I will be at the loser's shack eating potatoes. Oh, Maya, what's wrong? Nick, what do I do? Pearly, I can't find her anywhere, huh? I bet she just went back home, that's all. I thought so too, so I called the village, but no one has heard from her. This has never happened before. As I figured, she must have been badly hurt by this incident. She was responsible for the tragedy that has befallen you, Maya. But none of this was her fault. What should I do? Said the gumshoe. Yeah? What is it, pal? Could you guys go on ahead? But what about you? Maya and I we'll join you guys once we find pearls. Nick. Don't worry about us, said the gumshoe. Maybe a little late, but we'll definitely be there. We have a lot more celebrating to do tonight, and I wouldn't miss it for the world. Maybe I should have started earlier. Holy shit, this is long. Very well, Mr. Phoenix, right? We're going ahead. Where Pearly could have gone. There's only one place I can think of Pearl have gone to. Hazakura Temple. The Pearl is a very important place. That's where the whole incident started. Sister Bikini. She's in the training hall. Why don't you hurrying along and see her? The hanging scroll is finally clean. Yeah, you barely got away from that. After dishonoring the good name of Karain, I don't have the right to face my daughter. But still, Maya is always in my thoughts. It's true. She'll always be with me until the day I die. Your spirit was with her. That's why your mother was so strong. Even at the end, I'm sure she had no regrets. There's a rule or something about all masters are to follow, isn't there? To never take the charm off until the day you die. The thing that Misty kept by her heart and would never take off wasn't the container that was important, rather it was the contents. That's a photo? Ah. Mother. It's only natural for living creatures to fight to protect their own lives. What makes us human is that we fight for others. But who do you fight for? How hard must you fight? That's the true measure of what human life is worth. We defense attorneys are warriors who are constantly challenged by that question. Even when the battle is over and the bonds that connect us are severed, we always return, time and time again. Mia, Maya, Pearls, Mr. Armando, and Maya's mother too. I learned that from all of them. Shall we get going? Everyone is waiting. This is the day to remember. A day when a lot of things were finally put to rest. I think we should celebrate what we've overcome today. But I still can't. Oh, go on, sweetie. You can come back for training anytime. Okay. Alright, I'm going to make a brand new start too. This is Bikini. I'll be back for more training, I promise. I know, and I won't go easy on you just because you're the future master. I'll make sure to prepare reservations for 3 of you for when you come back. Wait, 3? Alright. We're going to have a great feast today, Pearly. You know why? Because training is a battle of endurance. Okay, Mr. Maya, I'll eat lots and lots of food tonight. You know, there's one thing I don't get, and probably don't want to, but what is it, Nick? Reservations for training is fine for, or why for 3? Come on, what do you think? You're one of us, Nick. Next time you can train right alongside us. Huh? I'll be waiting for you. This Bikini will take special care of you. Huh? Huh? It'll be great, Nick. We're going to do the special course naturally. Huh? 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 That's a great idea. After all, Mr. Nick, you'd do anything for Mr. Maya, wouldn't you? Even walk on hot coals, right? We'll have a nice big meal right before we come next time. Right, Nick? You know, I was wondering if I can say one little thing. Sure, of course you can. Oh, I love this part. I can't wait to hear it. I'm getting up goosebumps too. Well, then. Here goes nothing. Objection! Finally! That was longer than I thought it would be. Holy shit. God, I should probably work on VODs tomorrow. I'll upload these, but it's gonna take forever. Ooh, a brand new coat. The name of love, a man will soil himself silly. Oh, yeah, sure. No, you don't have to show me what a whip, but the whip, no. Man, this guy won the fucking lottery. I'm a little scared about that. You let me $500,000. I will take that money. Yeah, he's 69 years old. Eh. Adam matter. I really cause Anna has it kind of bad when the little one slapped you so hard you got a nosebleed. Oh, don't mind Pearls. He just thinks that me and Maya should be together, but that's not the truth. This is unique to this one too.
Objection.
Oh yeah, Winston Payne. No. Fuck you, old bag. Get out of here. Oh my god. Oh my god, she's still fucking. Fancy's whippity whipper trip is gonna turn the art world self-centered, lazy, antisocial, an artist. The co-producer Shinji Mikami. Hey, it's us. And it's the legacy that we're carrying on. It's the things that we get our legacy from. I was trying to sound good. It didn't sound good. Well, that's it. I've done it. I have beaten all 3 games of the original trilogy. Oh, fuck. I am done. Oh, hey, only eraser. Just finishing up. Oof. It's time for me to find someone to raid. Yeah, I finished. Yeah, I started at around 7 p.m. PST. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I will probably hold off on playing the new, on the Apollo Justice trilogy for a while, honestly. I may give it a couple of months because there's a time skip between the 2 games. I'll switch over to this now while I find someone to raid. Because there's a time skip of at least 2 months between them, and I'm like, yeah, it makes sense to do that. I also want to play some other games. And also it's sometimes it's weird to play like continuously just play narrative games. But in the hindsight, oh, someone's playing. Ooh, FF14. Ooh. But in the meantime, what am I doing? I'm supposed to stream on Saturday, but I don't know what I'm gonna stream on Saturday. And if I can't find anything to stream on Saturday, I'm just not gonna stream on Saturday because I don't feel like doing that if I can't find a reason for doing so. Who should we go say hi to? No, I don't want to raid someone. That's, I feel like you. Yeah. Let's go say hi to. There we go. Perfect. Let's go say hi to Fleshy. And this time I will set my raid message because last time I raided someone, was it yesterday? 2 days ago. Let's do simple one of Winton raid. Raid message. Anyhow, yeah, I'm probably gonna stream on Saturday. If not, I'm not sure. I'm gonna start doing a lot more like different streams in this coming month in June for a little bit, but you're not gonna see me for a while because after a while I'm gonna be playing FF14 and I am going internet blackout style for like 2 weeks for that. So no streams. You probably won't even see me on Discords that much. I'll just pop in for Discords a little bit to other stuff. Speaking of, I need to get my Discord ready, and then I also need to get upload my VODs. Maybe I'll do that tomorrow since I'm not working. Oh, I could just put it off again and procrastinate like constantly. Man, I can't wait for the time when if I ever start getting yeah, I don't know, bigger into Twitch streaming and stuff like that. I have a bunch of people get back. Wow, you're a detective. You should do like the Ace Attorney games. I'm gonna be like, haha, look at my VODs. I'm not doing that again. You guys are special. You guys got to see it though. Anyhow, you'll be there when you're back. Oh yes. I will see you all around and have a good day. Have a good night. Bye.